guys how to use the trifold. And I wanted to jump in the car and show you guys how I use my trifold, how I use my license, registration, and proof of insurance put together so smoothly, how my hands are already up at touchdown position before the cop comes up. I've got my license, registration, proof of it. I have everything ready to go up here. The very first thing that you want to do, since you're being pulled over by the cops, you want to establish your touchdown position with your arms. Do you see how I'm doing it? You see how I'm doing it? This arm is up and in the window, just like a goalpost. My hand can be seen right here through the window. This is the first step that you're going to do to establish that you are not armed. The cop's behind me. He's got his lights on. I'm going to establish touchdown position with my arms. I don't want to die because I got pulled over and my hands weren't at a touchdown position. Do you see that? I don't want that cop to kill me. I have established my touchdown position. My hand is in the window. My other arm is holding the phone. The copper can see my phone through the back window, so he can see my phone. The phone lights up. My other hand's in my window. That cop right now can see both of my hands, and so the likelihood of me being shot, sorry about that, it drops significantly. See there? I caught the phone because I don't want to die because I'm reaching down. Don't want to reach down. Elbow goes in the windowsill right there. The cops pulled me over. Cool. Cool. Right here, I've got my license, my registration, and my proof of insurance. I got everything right there. See that? My hands never got to go below the steering wheel. I never have to reach anywhere else. Not at all. I don't got to reach anywhere at any time. This is as far as I got to go right there. That's it. That's as far as I go right there. See there? My hands are up in the air. The cop cannot mistake my hands in the air. This camera phone is a giant light. My other hand is right here. Got my window slightly cracked 3 or 4 inches. My doors are locked. Now, cop is going to want my license, registration, and proof of insurance. I've got it right there. Boom. Right there is everything, including a copy of my identification laser copied. My hands never left below the steering wheel. Do you see how that works? Do you see how that works? Now, he's going to say license, registration, proof of insurance. I'm going to give that to him. There you go. He's got my license, registration, proof of insurance. I've now provided everything I have to provide by law. I gave him my license, my registration, my proof of insurance. I had it ready to go for him because I knew this moment would come, that I would be in the situation with the cop behind me and I would need my license, my registration, and my proof of insurance. If you live in America, you will be getting pulled over. Now, he's going to say to me, do you know how fast you were driving? Do you know why I pulled you over? I pulled you over for NRS code, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to reply to him as I slide my trifold down from my visor. I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. I'm going to show it right to him. I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. I'm not going to answer or play that game of, do you know how fast I was going? Do you know why I pulled you over? I'm not here to play that game with you. That's not the game I started my day off doing, and that's not what I'm gonna do now. The answer is no. I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. If he asks another question, I'll show him the list here. It says right there, don't ask me where I'm coming from. Don't ask me where I've been. Don't ask me where I'm going. Everything I need to provide by law is in the slip below. I got it on delete laws. That's where I got it. I don't have to answer any questions at all. Well, where are you going? I'm going to look right at the camera, not the jack boot, and I'm going to say, I've already invoked my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. It's right here in writing. It's a clearly established Fifth Amendment from 1793. That's my Fifth Amendment right. I've given him everything he's supposed to get. That's it. That's how I respond. My hands have never gone anywhere but here. Do you see that? I'm not going to get shot. Do you get it? And I got to check that jackboot thug pig who I always have wanted to check, but I didn't really know how to check him just right. By invoking your Fifth Amendment right, he cannot ask you another question. His questioning ability has come to an end. You guys have seen me do it on the DUI stop. When I went through the DUI checkpoint, he said, "Do you have anything to drink tonight?" And I said, "I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent." And he said, "Have a nice night." You can't question me anymore after I invoke my clearly established Fifth Amendment right. And then you can check that jackboot thug pig. You don't have to put up with that nonsense. You don't got to put up with that. This is how it works. This is how you do it. If I need to hold my arm up, look at this. Look what I'll do. I'll take my armrest right there and I stick my elbow right on it. Do you see how I do that? You see that? Your arms go to a touchdown position. That's how your arms do it. Your arms go to a touchdown position. You see this arm elbow bend right there? Phone's at the top of it. There's the top of the goalpost. There's the other side of the goalpost. Now I've got a touchdown position. Copper can't say I was reaching. Copper can't say nada. I had my license, registration, proof of insurance ready to go for the jackboot thug pig. I had everything ready to go. License, registration, proof of insurance, everything was together on a laminated card. I already laminated it. I took my time to do it because I don't want this jackboot thug pig to have any kind of power over me. I gave you everything I have to give you required by law. Leave me alone at that point. I'm not going to play the game of why'd you pull me over. I'm not going to play the game of do you know.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. Happy Saturday, everybody. Give me a 5x5. You can hear me okay. Team DLZ in the house. Give me a 5x5. You guys can hear me all right. How is it? Can you hear me okay? Let me know that, and then we will move right on. Listen, I have the trifolds in stock, 2-for-1 Saturday. Buy one, get one free. If you order 3, I'll give you 6. Buy one, get one free on Saturday. That's what I do. That's what I'm doing. And the thing is I can give you the rubber bands to put the trifold over your visor so that you don't reach down. The part I can't do is I can't give you your laminated card with all your information neatly put on it so that you're prepared to be able to invoke your rights. What is going on out there in the land of the unfree America? Everybody do me a favor, hit the like button. It's right down there. Hit the like button right down there. It's got the thumbs up on it. If you're watching on your screen vertical, double tap on the screen with your finger like you are epileptic and you're having a seizure. What's going on? What is going on? Let's stay super focused today because I want to get through a lot of videos. I'm doing a lot of different things. I'm absolutely slammed. I see Gloria in the chat. I see Bruce. I see Brandon. Chevy, where are you, Chevy? And do I see, I plead the fifth. I don't see life under the microscope. I know that Rising Tides outreach is in an emergency right now on the East Coast. God bless him. Power inherent to the people has said correct. I totally agree with you. 100% correct. 100%. Gregor, here we go with the contracts. Here we go. All right, listen, we really do have a ton of videos to get into. So what I want to do is I want to get into this because, this one is juicy. It's funny, and I hate to say it, but I called it. And if my editor will go back into my archives, in the thousands of hours of archives, I said, is he diddling kids? Is he? You know what? I got to be careful what I say, of course, because here, how about let's take a look at this. What's this say? It says right here, exactly like I said, Kentucky judge traded favors for sex. Apparently, I was advised you can't say the word sex. I understand that your video will be flagged. You said the word sex. You can't say it, apparently. You guys can say whatever you want in the chat, but there you are, Lou. What's up, Playboy? This is Lou's wife. He's working, but told me to get on the chat and donate $20 and say hi to Chili. Oh, sorry, I am Tammy. Hello, Tammy. Thank you for coming to chat. Thank you for your super chat. God bless you, Rising Tide Outreach. I mentioned Lou when I came on. I said, where is Lou? All right, so listen. I appreciate your super chat. Thank you, Tammy. Tammy. You have to say someone's name 7 times for you to remember it, and you're supposed to put it on their face 7 times. The name, but I don't have a face, so I put it on Rising Tides Ocean. Tammy. All right, let's get into this because this is really, and this is just a synopsis because there's a deep dive in this too.
Before the United Healthcare CEO was gunned down on the streets of New York, the shooting that took our breath away was the killing of Judge Kevin Mullins right there in his own chambers. We know who fired those shots. It was on video right there. That was Sean Mickey Steins right there with the gun. He was the sheriff at that time.
Okay, so now what we don't know is the level of complicity. We don't know how complicit he was, the sheriff was, in what that judge was doing. Knowing about it, did he find out about it and then cap his ass? Like, why did he cap him? How much? You're gonna hear some really crazy shit in this.
Of their rural Kentucky county, and he was also a close friend of the judge. And he's not a sheriff anymore; he's an inmate waiting for trial. But just like the CEO murder,
but, you know, I hate these elitists like this Ashley Banfield, you know, state-run media operative, you know.
He's not a sheriff anymore; he's an inmate.
You know, she doesn't understand what that entails. Now, don't get me wrong. We will have to have people who live in boxes because they're crazy and kill people. But she says it like it's just nothing.
Waiting for trial. But just like the CEO murder, the motive in the Judge Mullins case is a mystery, which means that the two men's long shared history has been under the microscope. And tonight, a gut punch of an exclusive to tell you about. It turns out there are recordings about the dead judge that tie him to some very dirty business in that county. A sex for favors scandal that sent a former deputy to jail and got the sheriff, who's now facing murder, sued in federal court.
You know, there's something, the real irony here could this guy have found out about it and been a good guy and offed him? Because if you are RAPING women because you can get away with it, you are a piece of SHIT.
News Nation investigative producer Allison Weiner uncovered these recordings, and she joins me live now. You're such a great producer. I mean, we send you out to dig
come on.
This stuff up, and then I have to have you, Allison.
Well, these are recordings from the criminal investigation into Deputy Fields, the guy that went to prison for the sex for favor scandal. And Deputy Fields.
If there's a sex for favor scandal there, then there's a sex for favor scandal where you live.
Fields was convicted of rape 3, of sodomy, and also of perjury. So the recordings are from his victim. And she subsequently has filed the civil rights lawsuit in federal court. The victim is Sabrina Atkins, and she was interviewed by police about what had happened to her when she was an inmate in Letcher County in Whitesburg. And that's where Sheriff Stein was working and also where Ben Fields was working. And these recordings, I was listening to them and I just sort of stopped and was like, I'm beginning to see that Sheriff Stein's life was coming apart, like sort of one thing, one block at a time. And this was not a good thing that I was listening to. And let's take a listen to it and then we can talk about it.
He does have some videotapes of some stuff in the judge's chambers.
What kind of stuff?
In the judge's chambers.
With girls, sexual and stuff.
With girls, sexual and stuff. Girls.
What describe? Have you seen the videos?
I've seen one partly, just him having sex with girls for to be able to get out of jail.
Who was having sex?
Ben and just some higher ups up there.
Don't let that skip you. Who was having sex? Ben and just some higher ups up there. Which some of people was it?
Who?
The judge and.
You saw the video.
Yeah.
What did you see on the video? I mean,
I've seen Judge Mullins have sex with a girl.
Who was the girl?
So this guy was filming. He was having somebody record, or he set up a camera to film these women who he told that they would not get bail unless they did this or did that. And he filmed it. Was the cop the good guy? I'm dying to know. This has got me captivated.
I don't know. Because I don't know a lot of people from
Where was it at?
in his office, in the judge's chambers.
Is that the same place that you were meeting Ben? Is that how you know it was a judge in chambers? And this was Judge who?
Mullins.
Allison.
Whoa.
Judge who?
Mullins.
I get it.
Allison, wow, that's pretty clear. That's her saying Judge Mullins was having sex with these people in his chambers, just like the other deputy. Here's the question I have, because it seemed to me that it became an open secret among female inmates that you can sleep your way out of jail because these men and these higher-ups, not the ones necessarily on the screen, this is an allegation only, will have sex for these release favors.
That's correct. And by the way, the Sheriff Stein, denied during his deposition, which was a couple of days before the murder, that he had he had any idea that any of this was going on. But the fact is that the plaintiff.
Hold on a minute. Hold on a second.
Days before the murder, that he had Sheriff Stein denied during his deposition, which was a couple of days before the murder, that he had he had any idea that any of this was going on.
Wait a minute, though. Hold on a minute. It is widely known, and this is not a fact of the case that I'm, privy to. It's widely known that the sheriff and the judge were very good friends, that they were tight. Like over at each other's house for barbecue kind of thing tight. So, Chevy, what is up with the Playboy? How tight were they? And this is the whole thing, and all you Trumpers can get mad at me if you want, but all those pictures with Epstein, and then the allegations from it just makes me weary.
But the fact is that the plaintiff in the lawsuit, again, Sabrina Atkins, said that she had heard rumors and that you could exchange sex for not having to wear your ankle bracelet. She didn't say that specifically, but for some favors. And that's exactly what ended up happening, because she couldn't afford to pay for the ankle bracelet.
Okay, hold on a second.
Sex for not having to. She had heard rumors, and that you could exchange sex.
That you could exchange sex
for not having to wear your ankle bracelet. She didn't say that specifically, but
for not having to wear your ankle bracelet.
For some favors. And that's exactly what ended up happening, because she couldn't afford to pay for the ankle bracelet. You have to pay for the ankle bracelet weekly. And those are the allegations in the civil lawsuit.
Oh, just nasty. Plead the fifth. What is going on, Playboy? What's going on with the Playboy? Let me see if I did this properly. If I did. Okay.
In a small town.
So here's a bit more of an in-depth that I was already 9 minutes into it, and I was like, you know what? Let's watch some of this with the crew.
Plea to the charge. The sheriff, charged with murdering his friend, who's a judge, appears in court to enter a plea to the charge. I have new information in the case of the former sheriff, Mickey Steins, and where the case goes from here.
And now that you see this picture of this guy, doesn't he look just like? I mean, because let's be honest, if you are sleeping with women for favors for legal, it's just you're I'm sorry, you're a bottom feeder rapist if that's what you're doing.
Information in the case of the former sheriff, Mickey Steins, and where the case goes from here. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Mickey Steins made international news when he was arrested and charged with murdering his friend of many years, Judge Kevin Mullins. Now Steins has been indicted for murder of a public official, and he's entered a plea. I'll show you that hearing in just a bit.
How many of you guys want the cop to be the good guy? I mean, how many of you put a one in the chat if you just hope and pray and want? Pretty much cops suck in our country. Pretty much cops suck in our country. You don't want to call the police because you don't know what you're going to get. In this case, where the cop offs the judge who's raping women, of course, I think due process is best, but say he's so mad that he feels so betrayed by the judge that he has a moment of temporary insanity, because what if he did go to the barbecue with this guy all the time and hang out with this guy all the time, and then he came to find out that this guy was essaying women and filming it, and he lost his mind and shot him? I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that, thanks, Plead the Fifth. I appreciate it. Plead the Fifth. Let's keep going.
This case is not a whodunit. Far from it. It's more of a why did he do it? And is the crime murder or something else? Steins shot and killed Judge Mullins on September 19th, and the crime was captured by security cameras. The case is absolutely unbelievable because Steins, the well-liked, now former Letcher County sheriff, who's supposed to enforce the law, is accused of breaking it, committing the most serious crime you can in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. That day, Steins and Mullins went to lunch together. It was something that they had done together many, many times.
So these guys are bros.
For the years, Steins and Mullins were longtime friends. At one time, Steins had worked as Mullins' bailiff. The lunch came up at a preliminary hearing in October.
Are you aware of anything so far in your investigation that would tell us there was any issues at lunch between Judge Mullins and Sheriff Steins?
No.
Okay. But someone on behalf of the KSB has spoken to those witnesses?
Yes, they've all been interviewed.
And there was nothing unusual that had arisen during that luncheon?
I was told that the judge made a statement to Mickey about, do we need to meet private in my chambers? That's all I was told.
Do you know the context of what the conversation was before that they would need to discuss in chambers?
I do not.
The prosecution played the video of Steins shooting Mullins.
And were you able to identify the party who saw that video?
That was Sheriff Mickey Steins and Judge Kevin Mullins.
And also, who had the firearm?
Sheriff Steins.
And then Judge was also in his black robe.
Yes.
Do you know what portion of the courthouse that is?
That is the judge's chambers.
And where's that located at, physically located?
In the Letcher County Courthouse.
Now, there was no audio of the video, so we don't know what was said before Steins fired.
And have you had an opportunity to review the video
I have.
Of the prior incident?
I have.
And can you describe for us what happened immediately prior to the clip that we saw?
Sheriff Steins uses his telephone to make some phone calls. He then borrows Judge Mullins' cell phone and appears to make a call on that. And that led to what you just saw.
Okay.
Mickey Steins was the sheriff of Letcher County, so he's not the type of person that you would think would be charged with the crime. I decided to look up Sheriff Steins on truthfinder.com to see what I would find out about him. Truthfinder is one of the largest public record search services. Doesn't yet you deal with conversation most anyone.
So I got to jump in because I have to make sure it's the reaction video for the YouTubes. What are you seeing? What are you seeing? What are you seeing when you see it? Someone said in the chat that they both look weird. And I think what they were talking about was, now we're at 3:59 here. We'll come right back to this part. But when you take a look at this guy, I mean, Does he look weird? I mean, I guess he kind of does.
Courthouse, that is.
That is the judge's chambers.
Steins has been the topic of much conversation and speculation.
I was told that Sheriff Steins had tried to call his daughter, and he had tried to call his daughter from the judge's phone also.
So, have you obtained the phone records from Judge Mullins' phone?
I don't have those in my possession yet, no.
Okay. Have you issued a search warrant for them?
Yes.
Okay. And have officers confirmed that the sheriff's daughter's phone number was on Judge Mullins' phone?
Yes. I believe so, yes.
So that number had been called from Judge Mullins' phone?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, there have been questions about whether the phone number of Sheriff Steins' daughter was actually saved in Judge Mullins' phone. A Kentucky State Police spokesperson told me recently that Steins' daughter's phone number was not stored in Judge Mullins' phone. So Mickey Steins actually had to dial that phone number. Also adding to the mystery, what Mickey Steins said to law enforcement when they took him into custody.
I can't. There's no mystery. We know there's a video of him boinking a girl on camera that she didn't consent to that. She was trading her liberty for that. She was trading her freedom. I'm a guy, so I think I would take the time in jail instead of the SEX that the judge offered. I think I would be like, you know what? Because I'm a guy, you're gonna hurt me. I'm not down for. I'm not interested in that. How long? How long in jail? How long was he gonna lock her up for? How long? It's these guys are demons, and she's like, there's a mystery. Doesn't the video clear up the mystery? Isn't it all so clear after the video comes out?
He was mostly calm, I thought. I mean, I talked to him, but he didn't say nothing about why this had happened. But he was calm. He was kind of afraid that basically all he said was, treat me fair. That's basically the comments he made.
Okay. Did he also make a statement about, I didn't see it in the citation. You're somewhere along the line, I saw a statement being attributed to him about protecting his family.
I wasn't present, but when he
protecting his family, why is the sheriff saying that he's protecting his family?
When he was taken into custody, I was told by one of the other officers that were there that he made the comment, they're trying to kidnap my wife and kid.
That was a stunning comment, and it had people wondering what could have been going on in this small town. Kentucky State Police tell me they're investigating.
What's going on in Kentucky when the judge is turning favors for freedom? What's going on there? Seems like everything. What could be going on there? They're trying to kidnap my wife and daughter and take them where?
Investigating every possibility. In the background of this case is a civil lawsuit. Sheriff Steins had been deposed in that suit days earlier. One of his former deputies, Ben Fields, was convicted of raping and sodomizing a former inmate named Sabrina Atkins in Judge Mullins' chambers, where there weren't any cameras present when it happened in 2021. Atkins' suit accuses Sheriff Steins of ignoring the behavior. Steins' lawyers had previously told me that their client was receiving an outpouring of support from the community.
What I am amazed by are the stories of Sheriff Steins transporting.
Okay. Now, here's the deal. If the sheriff shot the judge, how does the statement they're trying to kidnap my wife and daughter play into any of it? But pretending the sheriff didn't say that, then pretending as though a great guy from what this guy's going to say right here, because I've already seen up to this point. If you're going to sing his prayers, if he shot the sheriff because he found out he was trafficking women through his judge's chambers, if he did that, then I totally understand you sitting there saying what a great sheriff he was and look what he did, and I'll let the guy say it, but it's just a bunch of cops sucking, and I just can't stand it.
The stories of
the community.
Can't stand cops.
What I am amazed by are the stories of Sheriff Steins transporting juveniles and stopping at the McDonald's drive-thru to get them food and to take care of people who were, who were having difficult.
Okay.
Transporting juveniles. And
okay, so I hate to do this. I'm sorry for interrupting, but you're transporting juveniles to where? So you have kids locked up, and now that you have them captured, you're their savior because you're going to take them to McDonald's? I'm just trying to get it around this tiny little brain of mine, just trying to understand it. He's a great guy because he takes kids that he locked up and he takes them to McDonald's. Okay. If that's what we're selling here, if that's what we're selling.
Of Sheriff Steins transporting juveniles and stopping at the McDonald's drive-thru to get them food and to take care of people who were, who were having difficulties in getting food and taking it to their house. I've heard from drug addicts and recovering addicts who attribute their sobriety and their success in life to Sheriff Steins' efforts. Now, that is important to us because, again, there is something, and we want to know what, and we're continuing to do our own investigation, but we, ultimately the Commonwealth has to give us the information to understand what would make this man who has served so honorably in his community.
Hold on a minute. You can't say how honorably this man served in this community if he was a part of the sex train for women to get out of going to jail. You can't sit there and say he was such a good pillar of the community. He was only RAPINGing women with the judge for the last 5 years. But before that, those 19 years before the last 5, he was not doing any of that. But before he was RAPINGing women with the judge, he wasn't doing that before. He was serving good in his. Now, if I said from the beginning of this broadcast that I want the cop to be the hero in this. I want him to have found out that judge was SAing women, and he said, you know what? I can't take it. My head's going to explode. I hang out with this guy every day. He's such a freaking scumbag, and he's filming it. And my name's attached to his, and he thought about his career and his life and his legacy and his family and his sons, where it was stained on their name, and boom, he killed the judge. Okay, I hope that that's the case, so that we're not sitting here cops sucking this dude. If he had anything to do with the process of SAing women for their liberty, that we've got to be careful here how much SAing we're doing here, how much cop sucking we're doing here.
To get to the point where he felt the only thing he could do to protect his wife and daughter is to take action on his own.
Now to today's arraignment and Sheriff Steins entering a not guilty plea to the charges. The former law enforcement officer walked into court in a gray jail jumpsuit, handcuffed.
We'll waive a formal reading and enter a not guilty plea at this time, Judge.
And you're satisfied that Mr. Steins is aware of his rights?
Yes,
and
Your
the
Honor.
nature and substance of this murder charge?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Thanks, TLZ.
It's a formality, but Steins' lawyers filed a notice to preserve all evidence. The judge ordered Steins held without bail. After the brief hearing, Steins was led back to jail. Mickey Steins is.
Well, here's the part of me that I'm gonna stay consistent here. He got his target. He already shot what he wanted to shoot. The only person he's a danger to now is himself. But he's not a danger to you or me or any. Plead the fifth. Thank you, Chevy. What's up with the Playboy? You listen. You guys are not gonna like this, but maybe he should just be on a monitor. And if he offs himself when he's out, you know what? He doesn't have to be tried anymore. It's done. But he killed the judge because now we know, so he's no longer a danger to anybody else. We know he killed the judge because of this sordid thing. Now, wait a minute. Maybe I'm speaking too soon, because he was a part of that SA ring. Then he should stay in the dungeon.
His lawyers say they're waiting on discovery to dig into the case and review the evidence, and venue could become an issue in this case. This happened in a small town. Attorney Jeremy Bartley also told me he thinks the federal civil lawsuit in which Steins was deposed before the shooting could provide some context about what happened, but it's more than could be explained in a soundbite. Bartley also said they've seen no evidence that there was an inappropriate relationship between Judge Mullins and Steins' daughter.
Look, does he look like a nice guy to you? America Uncensored. Does he look like he would be nice when he pulled you over? Does he look like he would be a great, big, hairy?
I spoke with the Bartleys in October about the case. So many people are asking why. I mean, it's clearly on the videotape. He's pleaded not guilty in the lower court.
There was the first honest thing that this reporter actually said. She said, the question is why, and then the reporter here says it's all on the videotape.
I mean, it's clearly on the videotape. He's pleaded, are asking why. I mean, it's clearly on the videotape.
Yeah,
he's pleaded not guilty in the lower court, but why? That's the big question. And you asked a number of questions under cross-examination yesterday, Jeremy, about the daughter, about her phone number being in Judge Mullins's phones.
Yeah, that's what Northeast Colorado Cop Block was saying earlier.
Where were you going with that line of questioning? There's been a lot of talk in that small town, but not a lot of concrete answers about what may have been the impetus for this.
Well, I mean, our investigation is still ongoing, and I would hope, given the incomplete answers we got yesterday, that law enforcement's investigation is ongoing. At this point, we don't have a complete picture, but what I think was apparent very early is that there was a sudden inflammation of of emotion that transpired in the moments just before the tape came on.
Of course,
in the clip that we saw, and so this tape was edited to cut out anything that happened just prior, and we think the moments just prior will tell the whole story. I don't know at this point what ultimately was on that phone. They're examining the phones, but we believe
who is they are examining the phones. Who exactly does they entail?
That based upon the statements that our client made just following arrest, as well as the indication that there was this exchange of phones or viewing of phones, that something in that moment made our client feel that there was no other choice than to do what he did.
So it almost sounds like you think he snapped. I mean, this was a reaction.
Well, yeah, and that would be textbook extreme emotional disturbance with the textbook example always of finding your significant other with someone else, and in the moment, in the older case law, they referred to it the heat of passion. And that's
the heat of
pretty much with someone else, and in the moment, extreme emotional disturbance with the Well, yeah, and that would be textbook extreme emotional disturbance with the textbook example always of finding your significant other with someone else. And in
So did he see a video of the judge
the moment
doing something with someone he loved? Was kidnap his wife, and was the judge diddling the sheriff's wife?
In the older case law, they referred to it the heat of passion. And that's pretty much the same line of reasoning that extreme emotional disturbance follows.
There was discussion that he said something about protecting his wife and daughter, or he was concerned about his wife and daughter. And then you were able to elicit that under the questioning of the lead detective, that the daughter's number, and she's a minor from what I understand, her phone number was in Judge Mullins's cell phone. I don't know.
Does anybody know how old the daughter was? How old was? Because these guys are my age, a little older actually, but they're both old. So the daughter's how old? He said he's trying to kidnap my wife and my daughter. So does that mean that the judge was diddling the daughter? And if the judge has the daughter's cell phone number, does the judge have the wife's cell phone number? Because wife and daughter, Jeff, what is going on, Playboy? What is going on with the Playboy, Caroline and Fort Worth? What is going on? Sorry about that.
If that would be unusual since they had been friends for many years. Can you elaborate on that for us? What was going on with the daughter's phone number being in Judge Mullins's cell phone?
He was hitting.
Now, candidly, I believe that the officer testified that he believed that our client made a call from the judge's phone. So whether or not there was a call separate from that or whether there were any other calls,
she was 19.
We'll have to await the cell phone records to determine, but there was obviously, if in fact it is true that what the officer said, that the daughter's number was dialed during this period of time, and you take that in.
Oh man, 19. Who put it all together? Who? Okay, real quick, everybody. Now, plead the fifth. We agree. 19's pretty young. If you're a man and you're the judge's age, which he's not a day under 40, 19's pretty young. It's still legal, but who put it all? If she's 19 and the judge is calling her when this is all going down, what happened? Can anybody? Conkler, what's up, Playboy? Captain Team DLZ, Steve Conkler, what's up, Playboy? So tell me, what happened? I'm going to lay it out, okay? They had been friends for years. The daughter and the judge is what the reporter just said. That's what the reporter said. And so the judge was diddling the daughter, the 19-year-old daughter of the sheriff. And the sheriff found out that he was diddling his daughter. And the sheriff knew that the dirty judge had a camera set up over the closet door so that he could film his exposés with women he traded favors for liberty. And the sheriff knew about this dirty pig monster of a judge. Okay. And when he found out that he was diddling his daughter, then he knew right then and there that his daughter was on tape plumbing with the judge. Oh, put a 1 in the chat if I'm correct. Put a 1 in the chat if I'm correct. Put a 1 in the chat. Everybody, I can. The crowd goes crazy. Yes, you are 100% correct, Chili. Yes or no? I just got to know, and I will. I mean, the judge was with the sheriff's daughter, and he was kneading bread with the daughter. He was really, he was really throwing the yo-yo, just really throwing the yo-yo. He was. I mean, he had become a full-on PORN producer at this point. How many women, if we got one, there's more. The judge did more, including the sheriff's daughter on camera. These are just the assertions of one man, the allegations of one man.
Companion with the statement that his number was dialed during this.
So I'm going to go from the beginning of this, and we're going to listen to it, and I'm going to shut the flock up.
There was obviously, if in fact it is true what the officer said, that the daughter's number was dialed during this period of time, and you take that in companion with the statement that our client felt like his wife and his daughter were in danger, then we think certainly there is something.
His wife was in danger. Well, then Justin's comment on the screen says he's a part of a bigger group, and now his 19-year-old daughter's wrapped up in that group where they pass young girls around.
There, that is going to support our contention that Mr. Steins felt as though he had to act. Now, what that looks like objectively is subject to more discovery and more investigation.
Why were you asking about the apps on the phones and the different types of apps that can be used for communication? I mean, it seems to me you could draw an inference that Judge Mullins potentially may have been communicating with Sheriff Steins' wife or daughter. Do you know that to be true?
I have no objective facts that would lead us there, or that would anything other than, of course, there's plenty of speculation. And so I'm just asking the question.
Plenty of speculation. No. I'm sorry. I hate to interrupt this, but let me just tell you something I learned being raised by a clinical psychologist. Okay. You are compulsive. You are compulsive. You are compulsive with ice cream, or you are compulsive with your dog. You got to go and do this thing. Everybody's compulsive with the bathroom. Everybody. Being a sexual predator like this judge is, who trades freedom for favors. If there's one, there's more. He's compulsive. If he can get away with it, he will. And so he has gotten away with it. For how many years or decades has he been getting away with it? Before he did it, he diddled the sheriff's daughter. He diddled. He diddled the sheriff's daughter. Sheriff found out. You ain't gonna film my daughter, is what he said, and he put an end to that.
And of course, there's plenty of speculation, and so I'm just asking the questions. At this point, I'm asking the questions and trying to determine what the objective truth is, right? But if you look at that statute, the statute is in reference to what our client's subjective belief was at the time that he acted. And so you actually, everyone wants to know the objective why, but for us,
the motive why he did this.
We want to know the objective truth. But the important thing ultimately for the trial is, what did our client believe?
No. What's important is the truth. What's important is the truth. What's the matter with you? My aunt was not a clinical psychologist when she raised me. She got her education as, I think she didn't get her master's until I was already gone in college, but then she got her master's. I think she got a few masters. I think she got her PhD. She's a doctor now. So yeah, but just imagine the level of inquisition she had into me. Like you're the way you are.
And so to answer your question more succinctly, I do not have any basis now to make any conclusion about the phone number or any interaction, other than it appears that our client made the statement that he was concerned about the safety of his wife and daughter.
Do we know, either Carrie or Jeremy, why Sheriff Steins decided to use Judge Mullins's phone instead of his own? We know you said that he did use his phone and then use the judge's phone.
Yeah, that is another reason why the phones are going to be so important in this case. And until we have back the forensic review of the phones, all of the phones, and in fact, I think we learned that there was another phone that was seized or maybe turned over from an employee of the sheriff's that we were not aware of before we were going into the hearing yesterday. All of those phones are going to become critical. And at this point, we just don't know.
The Bartleys say they're investigating everything, including whether the civil suit involving former Deputy Fields played a role.
We have to ask the question, since the allegations involve the same chambers, the same location that this incident took place in. And, I'm still struck by how unusual it is that you have a live recording of a judge's chambers going on. Most of the time, if you have cameras in a judge's chambers, they are only on if you're having a hearing.
No, they're only on if you're having a Diddy party.
Judge's chambers. Most of the time, if you have cameras in a judge's chambers, they are only on if you're having a hearing. And
most of the time, if cameras on in a judge's chambers, you're having a Diddy party. They're only on if you're having a Diddy party and you're partying Chevy on Fuego. Danelle Brown, what is going on? What is going on? Guideline UK, what is going on? Let me just say it. What's the matter, you honeybees? What's going on, Brendan? Clown Patrol, good. Dan Hanlon, what's going on? Chevy. Justin, comments are square on the button today, brother. So anyway, I'll back it up 5 seconds.
Going on. Most of the time, if you have cameras in a judge's chambers, they are only on if you're having a hearing. And at that point, they're initiated by a court staff, and then
they're initiated by whoever pushes the play button on the cameras, brother. Okay.
Are turned off by a court staff, and they include audio. But I don't know of
that is the SA predator right there. He was an SA predator. He's now dead.
Another judge that would have had a video camera recording him 24/7 or 9 to 5, however.
Unless you're a narcissist, unless you trade favors for freedom.
Long he's in the office now. We've had some information that these cameras were put up after the lawsuit and after the conviction of a deputy for some sexual crimes that he committed in the judge's chambers, these same chambers. So
these same
again,
chambers,
we're asking the questions too. And so far, no one will give us the answers.
There are a lot of rumors floating around that small town, and one of them has to do with Sheriff Steins' daughter. And we know that she was in her.
Oh, you think? Do you think a lot of questions have to do with the daughter? Do you think maybe that's the big question?
Reviewed by law enforcement in the presence of her mother.
But she's not 19 then.
Do we know, is there any indication that there's some investigation going on related to that? Kentucky State Police have kind of said they are looking into kind of everything and whether or not there may have been something going on that was untoward with his daughter. Are you?
Well, then she wasn't 19 and all my wait a minute, hold on a second. I may have to retract here. If the daughter wasn't 19 and he was diddling the underage daughter, that's a whole different projection. That would mean that the judge was a patterass. That's what that would mean. Well, he already is. He's an essay specialist. He trades favors for freedom. There's something, because there's no limit to his power. And she's like, oh, only the judge's staff can turn on those cameras. What are you talking about? I can look at my security cameras outside my building right this second from my phone right now. And if I can set my sensors on my cameras so that it detects motion detection through the night. Can a judge record himself trading favors for freedom? Oh yeah. 100%.
You aware of anything?
We await the results of the investigation ourselves. I don't know anything more than we heard yesterday at the hearing in terms of what that evidence may look like. We don't know. I mean, we're not at this point. We're not making that allegation at all. We are trying to understand why our client felt that he had to protect his wife and daughter, as he told the officers that day. And, that could be one, that could be based upon one factor. It could be multiple factors.
Oh, could it be multiple factors? It always boils down to SEX when it comes to, okay, so we're going to go right back there. This is apparently a sheriff has shot a judge in Letcher County. So this is 3 months ago. But then when you go right down here and it gets the very first comment, it says, I'm from Letcher County. The rumor is that he slept with the sheriff's young daughter. The judge is known as a skirt chaser. I can't confirm any of this, just telling you the gossip in town. The sheriff is a great guy. This would be completely out of left field for him. Once more of the story comes out, to the extent that things can be proven, I'll come back and link articles, if any reports. So there it is right there.
In a small town. Attorney Jeremy, that she was interviewed by law enforcement, is that Kentucky State Police have kind of said they are looking into kind of everything and whether or not there may have been something going on that was untoward with his daughter. Are you aware of anything?
Well, let me tell you something. If she was 16 or 17, like Best Buzz Honeybees wrote here, that's disgusting, because I'm 50 years old. So there's a certain age where women become women, and 16, 17-year-old girls are not yet women. Now, I'm in Hollywood, California, and there's some up in Hollywood that could look, but if you take just go like that, you go, yeah, I'm gonna need to see her. I ain't doing that. But 16, 17-year-old girls look like children if you're a man. And obviously the judge is a man, and so he is an absolute predator. If this guy's daughter was 16 or 17 years old, that's disgusting.
We await the results of the investigation ourselves. I don't know anything more than we heard yesterday at the hearing in terms of what that evidence may look like. We don't know. I mean, we're not at this point. We're not making that allegation at all. We are trying to understand why our client felt that he had to protect his wife and daughter, as he told the officers that day. And, that could be one, that could be based.
That could be a lot of factors. But then Tammy said, I don't want to say much using my husband's account, but I looked it up. Kentucky Sheriff Sean Steins fired on Judge Kevin Mullins. The sheriff tried to call his 17-year-old daughter. So it boils down to that the judge was Dillian with the underage girl.
Based upon
Obviously, that's SA.
one factor. It could be multiple factors. And we, again, at this point, we're trying to, we don't want to speculate. I'm not going to speculate about anything just because there are these salacious rumors. I'm not going to get into that or speculate about.
Hold on a minute. Would you stop it? I mean, you're not going to speculate. Well, depends on what his role in the case is, but that's all we do is speculate. We're sitting around right now. Put a 1 in the chat if you're speculating. Of course we are. But I want to hear the salacious details that this sheriff is gonna say in trial. He's gonna say some things
that because for us the examination is, did our client believe at that time that he either acted in self-protection or that he was so emotionally overcome that he was unable to control his actions in that point. It's based upon his subjective belief. What ultimately is objectively true may be important to know, but the focus will be on what our client believed at the time he had to do.
Despite Sheriff Steins being charged with murder, the most serious offense a person can face in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, the Bartleys say Steins is receiving a lot of support.
Sheriff Steins has, you would not believe the outpouring of expressions of support for Sheriff.
Well, it's starting to shape up here. Like, it's starting to shape up. Like some of us in the chat believe that the judge was preying on this guy's underage daughter, is what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like to me. And it sounds like the judge got himself shot because he was dilly-dallying, delineating, I mean, whatever you want to call it. Chevy, what do you call it? What do you call it? Whoopee. No, because it's SA. You can't, if you're a man over the age of 18, you can't even flirt with girls underage, or that's grooming. You can't have anything to do with it. Nothing. If you do, you're cooked. You're absolutely cooked. And now we're seeing that this judge was murdered. Is it murder? What do you guys think? Is it still murder? And I want to get your reaction here, delineating. Brandy Swaney, delineating. Brandy said, I'll do what needs to be done to protect my kid. If he found out the judge was grooming, essaying his daughter, if you even found text messages, right, that had explicit pictures or anything like that to your 17-year-old daughter, and I'm 50 years old, if it was my boy, and then I had a 17-year-old daughter and I found on her phone that you had sent her pictures of your junk, God help that human being. God help me. I don't want to spend the rest of my life in prison. Oh yeah, you saw that video? Did you guys see that video that we put out today? Man, that video we put out today, if you haven't seen it yet, whew, it's heart-wrenching. It's super heart-wrenching. Watch the video we posted on Delete Laws today. Good job, editors.
Of Steins, again, ultimately, no one is going to ever say, we're never going to say that, that this is a beneficial thing or a positive thing that a man was killed. It's a tragic thing, no matter how we look at it. And just because we represent the sheriff, anytime there's a loss of life, that's tragic.
Well, it's certainly still very early on. Jeremy and Carrie Bartley, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
And that's it for this episode.
So I think I figured it out. I mean, I think I figured it out. You know, earlier when she was 19, it was a different story, but now that, yeah. And so then Bruce chimes in and says, I have a daughter and I can tell you that I'd go to prison to protect her. So you kind of do have to protect 15, 16, 17-year-old girls because they're independent. They're now running around with their phone and their freedom, and at a moment's notice, they can get a text or an invite to go do anything. And so they're pretty much young adults. And so you do have to protect them from people, especially people from a position of power that this judge was in. And he manipulated he manipulated and tricked his daughter. I mean, we can speculate until we get all the facts that come out. We will not know. We simply will not know. Oh, this is not the one I wanted to show you. This one right here. So sorry about that. This. I tried to show this yesterday or day before yesterday, but I ran out of time. If you guys are... So I don't see you guys as much as I used to because I'm busy doing something. If you're a member of teamdlz.com, there's like a 10-minute update today on what we're doing exactly right now and why I'm not here, because I used to be here a lot. I used to come hang and watch videos with you guys a lot, but I'm really busy. So if you guys are a member of Team DLZ, check teamdlz.com. There is a new video update.
A 95-year-old woman. A police officer claims his decision to taser a 95-year-old woman was justified. Giving evidence at his own manslaughter trial, Christian White said he believed Claire Nowlan posed a real threat and he had no option but to use force.
The police officer who tasered an elderly dementia patient. And today, Christian White finally had the chance to explain why. One of the ethos of policing is to protect life. I'm a police officer. That's my job. That's exactly what he claims he was doing when he tasered Claire Nowlan, telling his manslaughter trial he was...
I mean, that's a huge dude.
...protecting others from the great-grandmother at Yallambee Lodge.
Whoa, look at her. She's frail. You can...
Did you consider that it might result in her dying? No. How do you feel about the fact that it did? Upset and devastated. I never intended for her to be injured by it at all.
Wow. Now we're going to see what level of cop sucking there is over in the UK, because clearly he should never have tasered this frail old lady.
White was responding to reports Claire had been going from room to room with 2 knives. She was 95,
Whoa, she's scary.
Had dementia and was shuffling around on a walker. Did she look like she was frail? I think you're asking the proverbial piece of string question. I'm not asking anything about a piece of string. Not the frailest I've seen, no. He said he had every reason to believe the great-grandmother posed an imminent threat before saying bugger it and discharging his taser. Christian White said...
Wow, what a coward. What an absolute coward. What a total and complete coward. That is unbelievable. So you pull up on the scene and you see a woman who looks like that, and she has a couple steak knives in her hand, and you're going to pull out 50,000 volts of electricity and shoot her with it. Brother, you are a psycho. You are the reason why people don't like cops. You are the reason why people hate cops. Your decision-making ability, your ability to make intelligent decisions is at 0, dude, at 0. You should be charged and you should go to prison for killing this woman. She only had this much time left and you killed her. You dirty JBTP. Put it in the comment section. JBTP. Jackboot thug. But don't call them pigs. Whatever you do, don't call them pigs. Only guys who shoot 95-year-old women with tasers.
And discharging his taser. Christian White said he didn't want to taser Claire Nowlan, but felt he had to, that the incident had been going on for hours and it wasn't going to be resolved without the use of force, which he used within 2 minutes of finding Claire sitting alone inside an office.
Distressed family members have rushed out of court when body cam video was played to a jury showing the moment a 95-year-old woman was tasered by a police officer. Constable Christian White could be heard saying, "Got her," as Claire Nowlan fell to the ground. She died a week later.
We just have a very aggressive resident. She's got two little knives that she picked up from the kitchen drawer and raising them against the staff.
Senior Constable Christian White was one of the officers who responded to that 000 call from Claire Nowlan's Cooma nursing home, confronting the 95-year-old who was still armed with two knives. Nursing home.
What's up with the suit? What's up with the white suit? That's such a cop thing to do.
The 95-year-old who was still armed with two knives. Put it down now. We're not wielding knives in here.
He looks like such a nice guy. He looks like such a kind person.
Christian White could be heard saying on his body cam, "Stop. Now you see this? This is a taser. We're not playing this game, Claire. Claire, put it down. Stop now. Don't let me give you another warning. Bugger it," he said before discharging his taser. Got her. Claire now.
So F it, got her.
Alan died a week later in hospital from bleeding on the brain. Claire's family gasped, some cried, and others left the courtroom when the video was played. Photos of Claire's pyjamas were also shown, revealing the scorch marks left by the taser.
It's just ridiculous that we've somehow allowed these guys. It's simply ridiculous that we've somehow allowed these guys to have the right to electrocute us. That even though we have not been found guilty of a crime, that the government should have instruments that they can pull a trigger and you will be shocked with 50,000 volts of electricity. That is insane to me. Because in 2025, we're coming right into it, just a month away, not even. There's new ways we can do things. We don't have to use these barbaric, inhumane ways to restrain people or to stop people. And it has to change. And the electrocution of people is only escalating. Now they're trying to find gloves they can put on where they touch you and you fall to the ground like God touched you. It's really bad. It's really a sad thing we're dealing with.
Christian White is fighting the charge of manslaughter, arguing he was working in his capacity as a police officer and his actions were not disproportionate to the threat Claire Nowlan posed. It's now up to a jury to decide if the 95-year-old was a threat.
Do you agree with the taser? Mr. White, is there anything you'd like to say?
When he doesn't wear his white suit, they go at him in groves. Here, if you were a journalist, a First Amendment auditor, and you did this, you'd be charged with stalking.
Do you agree with the taser? Mr. White, is there anything you'd like to say? Do you still maintain that they were just doing your job?
Mr. White, what would you like to say to Claire Nowlan's family?
Do you accept now that it was utterly unnecessary? What do you think of the verdict? Do you regret using the taser that day?
Mr. White.
Prepared to go to prison this fight? What's your...
I mean, I just want to point this out here. So now take a look here, and I want to say something here. Okay, so, and this is kind of a. So if you take a look at this guy right here, when I was in the dungeon, right? I was in the dungeon for 4 months. Yeah, he was charged with stalking. Alan Hubbs was charged with stalking. Now lawsuit done, needs to be filed now. Okay, Alan, we'll talk about that more. We'll talk about that more, Alan. When I was in the dungeon, there was a guard who kind of looked like this guy. Ironically, he looked similar to him for sure. And the guy was such a mother, go, you have a ham sandwich, you dirty Farfignugan piece of you. That's the guard in jail who I'm talking about, who kind of looked like this guy. was a dick beyond all dicks. And he had a look on his face. You want to see what a dick looks like? That's what a dick looks like. You see the look on their face? And how do I know this? So this guy locked me down to my bed for 24 hours, and I had to stay at my bed for 24 hours. And I was so pissed because you can't even get off your bed. You have to stay on this bed for 24 hours. And the guy behind me, he goes, "Hey, Chili." I said, "What's up?" And he goes, "You see the guard?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "He's a dick, right?" And I said, "Oh yeah, dude, that guy's a total dick." And he goes, "But you're not a dick, right?" And I said, "No, I'm not a dick. I have my moments, we all do, but I'm not like a walking around dickhead to people. Guys who look like this, that's what this guard looked like." And so here's his point. He said to me, when that guard leaves here and goes home, the moment he crosses that threshold to leave from Clark County Detention Center, get in his car and go to his house, is he still that same guard? And I said, "You mean the dickhead who just locked me to my bed for no reason?" He goes, "Yeah, he's the same guy that did that to you for no reason when he gets home to his wife and kids or nieces, nephews, neighbors, everybody. He's a dick to you now in this dungeon room. He's a dick when he goes home, right?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You're going to get out of here and you're not a dick. You're going to go on, and this time right now, it sucks. You're locked to your bed for 24 hours. I'll go warm up some food for you. But you're not a dick, and he is." And this guy, not only did he kill a 95-year-old woman, he's a dick now. He'll be a dick tomorrow. He'll be a dick the next day. And you're not. You're not a dick. We watch the dickheads. We watch them and we see them. This guy is what he is. He'll always be what he is. He'll never be. If people do this thing I heard of that's called, it starts with a D and then there's an M in it and then there's a T, that can kind of break the D in you. You'll become a little bit less of a D if you take the D to the M to the T. Be really careful what I say. I'm on the YouTubes.
Police sergeant is on leave tonight, and he was arrested on charges that he interacted with a minor online while lying about his age.
Oh man, there's a shocker, and that's what he looks like right there. There's a shocker. He's a SA predator online. Shocked.
A Manchester police sergeant is on leave tonight, and he was arrested on charges that he interacted with a minor online while lying about his age. 33-year-old Sergeant Ryan Moen of
33 years old.
Coventry has been with the department for 7 years. He most recently served as a student resource officer supervisor for Manchester Public Schools. Now, Moen is charged with risk of injury supervisor.
I mean, he's got that kind of funny eye right there. Do you see it? Do you see what I'm talking about? You see his eyes? There's something a little bit, you see that? There's something a little bit funny in his eyes. Can you see it? Yeah, he likes underage kids. There's that.
For Manchester Public Schools. Now, Moen is charged with risk of injury to a child, enticing a minor by computer, misrepresentation of age, and tampering with evidence. Police say the alleged crime did not happen in his capacity as an officer, and the victim is not a Manchester student or resident. Moen is out on bond and scheduled to appear in court in January. Breaking news tonight on shocking new details in a case out of Manchester. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Hart.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. A police sergeant and school resource officer has died only hours after he was arrested for inappropriate behavior involving children.
The Fox 61's Kayla Cade has the new details regarding that former officer's death.
Late Friday evening, police...
Before we get into that, we'll get into where is Milena, April Rain, Melisa, Mikey B? Where are you guys? Where is Jessica Kerstad too? Where are you? And Chevy, where'd you go, Chevy? Plead the fifth. Good to see everybody. I just have to break this up because it's a reaction video, so I'm just kind of breaking it up with some internal team DLZ stuff.
Reported the body of
officer's death.
Late Friday evening, police reported the body of Manchester Police Sergeant Ryan Moan had been found near a boat launch in Vernon.
What? His body was found?
His death came mere hours after he was arrested on serious charges of enticing a minor. Friday afternoon, Ryan Moan, a Coventry native and the school resource officer supervisor for Manchester Public Schools, was arrested and placed on unpaid leave. Police charged him with risk of injury of a child, enticing a minor by computer, misrepresentation of age to entice a minor, and tampering with evidence. But the case suddenly changed hours later, when Vernon police reported an untimely death at the Hatch Hill Road boat launch. It was there police found Moan inside of a vehicle, suffering from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Prior to his death, people we spoke with in town were shaking up to hear about his arrest.
It's not something you hear every day.
Sean DeShane came all the way from Florida to make sure his kids get a good education in the Manchester Public School District. He says this incident does not affect the way he feels about it. In a joint statement, the town and police department said, quote,
I mean, the comments, you guys, the comments about the guy. So we're going to get into the comments in a section, and we're going to get into the comments in a second. I will finish what I was saying about the comments. You can read them yourself about how people feel about this cop who SAs underage kids as he works as a school resource officer. Then he goes to a parking lot and he offs himself. And the comments in the live chat are incredible. I guess that people don't feel a lot of empathy for predators who off themselves in their car. You guys don't. I'm heartbroken, says Sergeant Grinch. A few buds, gives a fist stamp. Real talk, says great news. I mean, like, it is like Direct changed his mind about police overall. It's just DOD said he got off easy by killing himself. I mean, how do you feel about that? A guy who, and this was what I was going to get into, that I stopped and I started reading comments instead. If he offed himself, if he pew-pewed himself, okay, how many kids had he done it to? Because once the investigation starts and they say, hey, you got to turn over your computers, or they come seize your computer and seize your phone. Because as we saw from that psychopath in Vegas, he had PORN on his computer. And I said, who has PORN on their computer? Psychopaths do. I mean, you're not a psychopath if you have PORN on your computer. But most of us, just so you know, most of us normies, we don't have just like downloaded stuff on our computers. Just, you know, it's not there. There's online stuff. And if I can't get online, well, you know, but what I'm saying is like, this guy offed himself because why? Because they're going to uncover that there were more victims, that he had SA'd kids. It wasn't just enticing. He had done this before. If it wasn't here, he did it somewhere else. That's. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? If he did it here, Jennifer Hill, if he did it here and he got caught here, how long has he been doing it, and who else did he do it to? These are fair questions. Yeah, who saves it on their, and then I'll just come back into that for a second. Right, like that's what that guy in, what's his name? Who was that LVMPD sergeant who was arresting black guys and setting them up, taking them to jail, and he's mixed race himself. But yeah, I don't know what kind of psycho has PORN on their phone. That's weird.
The alleged actions are in complete contrast to MPD's values of integrity, compassion, and fairness, and do not reflect the professionalism and dedication of the officers who make up the department. The Vernon Police Department says they will work with the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner to determine the cause of Moan's death.
But Manchester police sergeant is on leave.
I'm not sure. So they show a picture of him smiling at the end. Like, now you can't help but see it, right? Now when you see his picture, what do you see? You just think to yourself, he's a damned pervert. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? When you see him and you know that he was SAing kids and then he offed himself, what is your reaction? I just want to know. And you know what? And Alan Hubbs got it right. You can't fix someone who's an SA predator. They can't be fixed. They can't be fixed. Claudette, what's going on? Caroline and Fort Worth. Yeah, they don't get help because they don't think anything is wrong. So it's like, where's mugshot? I don't know. But so for my editors, so you can get a clean version of this, and we'll make it into a short. And I just want to ask you guys a question. This is a story of a cop who got caught enticing underage kids where he works as a school resource officer. He went into his car and he offed himself. Do you feel any pity for him at all? Fair question. Jeff Bacone said he got off easy. You got off easy, Chumpzilla.
Office detective now sentenced to 24 years in prison for child sex crimes. 34-year-old.
Man, are you guys hearing a theme here? Are you guys hearing a theme? Man, look at that homie's face. Look at his homie's face down here. Damn, look at homie's face. He's fucked up.
A former Jacksonville Sheriff's Office detective now sentenced to 24 years in prison for child sex crimes. 34-year-old Josue Garriga learned his fate within the past hour inside a federal courtroom.
Now, the judge said that the offense is extraordinarily serious, one of the most serious that she's seen, noting Garriga took advantage of a child that he knew was struggling and used his badge to do it.
Garriga pleaded guilty earlier this year. According to court documents, he pursued a teen girl for months after seeing her at church last fall. The judge said that Garriga was aware.
I'm so sorry.
Months after seeing her at here, according to court.
Okay, according to court documents,
he pursued a teen girl for months after seeing her at church.
Are you effing kidding me? This guy is an SA predator at church? As I was in the middle of saying it, you can see that I lost my fervor for the statement because there was a serial killer who went by the acronym BTK, which stands for Bind, Torture, Kill, who was the president of his church group. You can't make this shit up. So the fact that this guy sought out a teenage girl at church is not as shocking as I once thought about.
Last fall, the judge said that Garriga was aware what he was doing was not only immoral, but illegal, noting he defied the pastor at the church who tried to keep him away from this teenager. And he used an encrypted messaging app to keep in touch with her and set it so their messages would delete after 24 hours. She said he made decisions to commit this crime over and over again.
A disgraced former police officer now heading to federal prison. According to court documents, Josue Garriga enticed a 17-year-old girl to exchange nude photos, FaceTime more than 100 times, and engage in sexual contact.
Man, we are seeing a lot of SA predators in the policing profession.
Sometimes in his JSO patrol car. The government says Garriga also abused his position as a Jacksonville sheriff's officer by using his JSO-issued cell phone and an undercover Instagram account to reach out to the teen and get her number. On one occasion, the prosecution says Garriga enticed the victim to his work vehicle and wouldn't let her leave until she performed oral sex on him.
What? Everybody welcome Adam Claus. He's a new member.
The victim was not present in court for the sentencing Thursday, but a statement she wrote was shared in court. She said she looked up to Garriga, and when he started making advances toward her, she didn't really want that, but she submitted because she didn't want to lose her relationship with him. She said she is now working to heal from all the hurt, and she forgives Garriga.
The victim's mother wept as she addressed the court, noting Garriga is in his mid-30s and is a husband, father, and former JSO officer.
Wow, so sorry. I'm so sorry. I apologize here. Number one, he's a canine handler, and what have I told you guys? That canine handlers are the most sick, sadistic, nasty pigs there are. And you guys know that after I got out of the dungeon and there was a couple jailers in there who were really kind to me, really nice to me, and had absolute power over me and could have ruined me, I have kind of shifted my stance to the point where there has to be some good cops. If there was one or two good jailers who definitely, you have absolute power over the inmate. You can put them in the hole. You can ruin their day, their night. You have absolute power over an incarcerated person. It's disgusting. And so I've kind of softened a little bit that there could be, like Detective Matt Thornton, who's on YouTube, there's some good people who are cops. So none of them are canine cops. None of them. There's no good canine cop. 99.9% of all canine cops, because there's anomalies, are pigs. Are dirty, nasty, disgusting, maggot pigs. Straight up pigs. Pigs. Okay? I want to be on the record about this. So he was not a good guy. He was never a good guy. He wanted to see that dog bite people. He got off on watching that dog bite people. He trained that dog to bite people so that he could enjoy it and jizz in his own pants as the dog bit and attacked people. He's a psychopath. And it came out later that he was identified as a sexual predator, but he was always been a psychopath, okay?
Forgives Garriga. The victim's mother wept as she addressed the court, noting Garriga is in his mid-30s and is a husband, father, and former JSO officer who swore to protect the public but intentionally harmed her daughter. Garriga's family members also spoke, often tearfully, testifying that he is a good father, son, and grandson, saying he made a mistake. The last to testify was Garriga himself, apologizing first to the victim, then to his wife, son, and son's mother, other family members, and JSO, saying he has owned up to everything and asking for mercy. The judge wasn't really buying that he owned up to everything. He said in court he had never touched a child. The judge said, that's what you did.
Oh no, boo, 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 boo. So I'm sorry.
Everything he said in court, he had never touched a child.
Okay, so we've talked about this. I got to jump in, give a reaction to this so that I can stay in the good graces of YouTube. This is a reaction video, okay? If you touched a kid now, you touched a kid always. That's who you are as a person. You have fantasized about it. You have thought about it. It has been on your mind. You did it previously. When you had the opportunity to strike on a child, you did because you're a sexual predator. And they cannot stop themselves. Like Alan Hubbs said, there's no cure for them, unfortunately. There's no cure. There's no curing someone who likes children. Am I wrong? There's no curing. Not like you can go, oh, I went and saw a counselor and now I no longer am attracted to children. Like, no, dude, you are a predator. That's what you are. There's just no squaring it in my head, in my heart. You can't. This isn't a 17-year-old going after a 13-year-old. That's not what this is. Or an 18-year-old going after a 13 or 14-year-old. That's not what that is, where the gap is just too big and it shouldn't be and it's wrong. But then they get charged with crimes, but they're not a criminal. They're not an SAer, but society doesn't accept 14 and 18. You can't do 14 and 18, right? This is a man who's attracted to children. That's what this is. And there's no like, he was a father. Like, shut your can.
The judge said, that's what you did in this case.
That's what you do all
after
the
serving
time.
that sentence of 24 years and 3 months in federal prison, Garriga is required to serve 10 years probation and register as a sex offender.
Now, if his name sounds familiar, it's because he was involved in several high-profile cases.
Cop critics in the house, everybody.
While he was employed with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. He was cleared in the 2019 shooting death of FAMU student Jamie Johnson. The state attorney's office ruled that
So he killed people before, and he was essaying kids.
Garriga's actions were justified and that he feared for his life during that traffic
Oh, of course. Of course, it's a young black man. Way to go, dude.
stop. That case led the city
Piece
of
of
Jacksonville to settle with Johnson's family for $200,000 late last year. And earlier this year, changes were made so that constitutional officers like the sheriff are included in liability settlements. Sheriff T.K. Waters says he was not consulted on that settlement. And Garriga was identified.
Look at that. Look at them. You see the little bounce they do? Watch.
Says he was not.
Watch carefully when it first comes into frame here. Watch carefully the
on that settlement. And Garriga was identified as one of the officers who arrested Lakean Woods, another high-profile case. This interaction with Woods and the officers went viral last September. Several officers were seen beating and handcuffing Woods. And the Department of Justice concluded back in November that the officers' use of force did not.
See, like, look at that. You don't need to put your knees into people's body that way. We are not at war. You don't need to treat people this way.
Constitute a violation of federal criminal civil rights.
Oh, of course. Of course. Look, I mean, take a look. There it is. That's what this guy has been a part of. He beat the hell out of that guy. He killed another guy. That's what this guy is. That's what he is. You're looking at when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. That's what you're seeing right there. That's what you're seeing. You're seeing it. It's Chevy, you're seeing it, bro. You're watching it happen. You're watching it happen. No, I mean, there's a variant here, but at the same time, 17 will get you 20, brother. Straight up, 17 will get you 20. So just be, like, for example, I saw yesterday there. I'm not going to touch it. I'll tell you guys on Team DLZ, but I'll tell you on the website, teamdlz.com. I'll make a video and I'll explain to you. There's something going on right now that I can't say publicly because I don't want to start a shitstorm, but there's something happening right now and it's very public and everybody knows about it. But the way it's being handled, there's going to be some problems from the way it's being handled. And maybe I'll reveal it on Team DLZ. But this cop he got put away from prison for years and years. He should have been put away long ago. He was a predator long ago. He's always been a bad guy. Here's an update on that Asian guy. The Asian guy that has bone cancer and he got his head slammed on the ground by this cop because he said, "No, shut up." And so he slammed his head on the ground.
So I'm writing and issuing you a citation for improper return. Yes, sir.
Saying things, he hitting me, and I got a citation.
We don't argue on the side of the road. We argue in court. Yes, that's how it works. Because if not, if you don't sign this, you go to jail. Okay?
Yeah,
I don't want to take you to jail.
I'm ready to go.
You ready to go to jail?
Yeah.
Ridiculous. You're not supposed to leave any space at all. You're not supposed to leave any space at all.
You see that too, huh?
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
I am the top.
Where your vehicle was located, your vehicle was not like that.
Sit down.
No.
You sit down. Down the ground.
No. See, sir. No. No, anh hẹp lần. Anh nói anh lại. Anh đi hẹp lần.
Yeah, I'm going to call an ambulance. Okay,
No,
that involves impounding your car too. Okay. You got a ticket also?
Yes.
Your tag's expired?
Yes.
So you're good to get out of here?
Okay.
There's a report. I'll get to you guys in a second. Wait there.
Yeah, we got two more weeks of money for her, Utah Defender. We put in 2 weeks. I'll put in another week. This Monday or Tuesday, we'll give her another donation.
So this is the ticket. There's a date at the bottom that you have to take care of it by. And then below that, there's a phone number, website, address. One of the three will tell you how and where to take care of it.
Okay.
And then there is a case number right there. Has everyone's person, vehicle, and insurance information on it, okay?
Okay. So now I guess I'll just get my insurance to go after or take care of it?
Yeah, just call the insurance, give them the case number.
Thank you, sir. I'm so sorry.
Wonderful thing. Can you roll me another unit? I got this guy up here and a supervisor. He's refusing to sign a ticket, and he's wanting to go to jail.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous that Oklahoma has created a law that if you don't sign a ticket, then you're going to go to jail. I think that that's absolutely atrocious. And then Utah Defender, since I jumped in, let me just finish here. Utah Defender, we raised, I think, $400 for Dawn, something like that. I have the receipts. We've given 2 weeks of that money so far, 2 more weeks, and then I'm going to post all the receipts. I don't do any fundraisers over the holiday from Thanksgiving past Christmas. No fundraisers for anybody during that time period. But we will finish. We have money for her through Christmas. That's. I'm really looking forward to sending her another allotment on Monday.
My husband, we stay here waiting for those 2 years. We're not U-turn.
Okay, it doesn't matter about a U-turn or what. That lane.
And I heard she hit us.
I understand that, but you're not. You see where that car's at? Whenever you enter that area, that's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to leave any space at all. You're not supposed to leave any space at all.
You see that two car?
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
I am the
The way where your vehicle was located, your vehicle was not like that.
Sit down.
No.
He gives him a tap and tells him to shut up. It's very strange, shut up with his accent, but that's what he says is shut up.
Where your vehicle was located, your vehicle was not like that.
Sit down.
No.
You sit up.
And now he's got, we already did this breakdown before, but there's good news at the end of this.
Get on the ground.
No. See, sir. No.
And welcome to another demonetized live stream right here on Delete the Laws.
I need the ambulance.
Yeah, I'm going to call an ambulance.
Look at his head.
112 Hefner, roll me fire.
Crack the guy's skull open, but let me put him in torture cuffs real quick.
And then send the supervisor out.
No.
Sit down.
No.
You sit up.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Get on the ground.
Uh-oh.
No. See, sir. No.
He cracked the guy's skull open. The guy's unconscious on the ground, but he's got to get the torture cuffs on him.
I need the ambulance.
Yeah, I'm going to call an ambulance.
Yeah, you're going to call an ambulance? Yeah, I really hope that you call an ambulance. I really hope that you get on the phone immediately and you call an ambulance for head planting the man into the ground, fracturing his skull. I think he's been in the hospital ever since. He's not out of the hospital still. So that's what you did. And all these cops saying all the time, oh, I'm just here to help people. I want to help people. This is a reaction video. It's just like, I guess I should have done the house cleaning later. Everybody, are you guys still there? Put a 1 in the chat if you're still here. If you're still here. Yeah, so this week, let me take a look at my phone. The 7th, yeah, we'll give Dawn some more money on the 8th, and then we'll send Dawn some more money on the 8th, and then on the 16th. No, I'm doing that wrong. On the 8th and then the 15th. And then I think we'll have a tiny bit of money left after that to give her some money for Christmas. So I want to show you guys this. I want to show you guys this next video. And this video, it looks like, because it's from another country, it looks like it is from a movie set. It looks like it's from a movie set. When you see this, you're going to think, I want you guys to take a notice of something when you're watching the video. This is about police who arrest a crime ring who are thieves. They steal stuff. That's what they do. That's what this video is about. The police in this foreign country are going to arrest the thieves who have a legitimate crime ring. They're stealing stuff from stores. That's what they're doing. Take a look at the scenery, though. Look at the streets, how clean they are. There's no litter. There's no trash. This, you'll see. This is. This is in central London. Take a look at the streets. There's no trash. And just so you know, these women, they're all dressed up like that and they're stealing stuff. That's what they're doing. And these security guards, cops, watch how they're treated even when they're partially violent. As violent as a woman can be to try to fight a man. Look, even though they're being arrested, there are people in the way and they're not being punched and beaten up.
Yes, I'm not happy. Let's go. Let's go. You will go. You will go. Father, please. Father, please. Come on, stop it. Pick it up.
Look at the street. There's no dirt. There's no trash in the streets. These women are clearly physically resisting, and the they're not being tripped and jumped on and torture cuffed. They're causing a bit of a scene. People are looking, but nobody's getting hurt. There's no dog biting them. They're not being electrocuted. There's no sticks.
Excuse me. Shoplifting.
Well, he's filming it for transparency, which is that's why we're watching it right now. The reason we can see it is because he's filming it.
Okay. You calm down. Let's go.
He's not taking it easy on her, but he's not throwing her on the ground and putting his knees in her neck.
Go inside.
Even behind closed doors, he's not punching her in the face. She's kicking him. He didn't reach over and smack her, and he certainly could have. This is funny because he tells her, okay, relax. And right when he tells her, okay, I go nice and easy, she does like this weird little, like, unathletic maneuver like she's going to get away.
Calm, that's good. Calmly.
He tells her, go calmly, go calmly. She's not pregnant. She's stealing shit. So watch.
Calm, that's good. Calmly.
But nobody got killed. Nobody got dogpiled by 15 people. They don't have to be torture cuffed in metal shackles with their wrists behind their back. You could take people into custody without having to shackle them. People don't need to be shackled. Most of us don't. Even if we're under arrest, most of us don't need to be shackled. Some people need to be shackled. Sucks. They simply will refuse to go under any circumstances. They're going to tackle you, bro. Option A, you get in the car. There's a door handle. There's air conditioning. There's no cages. Option B, you get tackled and put in a cage. What do you want to do? I think enough people will eventually get there. I think enough people will. I didn't see any of the chat. I'm sorry. New member. Bruce with the super chat for $5. Thanks, Bruce. God bless you. Let me help remonetize. Oh yeah, this video is demonetized after I showed that Asian dude get his head cracked open. That excessive violence is an American thing. Yeah. Oh, dude. It's only an American thing. Yeah, so Northeast Colorado cop block, member 28 months. Holy smokes. Danelle Brown, member 10 months. Holy smokes. You guys are deep support. Deep support. Yeah, Danelle, let's do another round of money for Dawn. I have her money sitting here on my Cash App. Let's send her another round to Monday or Tuesday. Spread it out because we just gave her 100 like 4 or 5 days ago.
Brian Moss, who joins
Okay,
us.
so this is great, and I've got to tell you, plead the fifth. What's up, my brother? Listen, I got to tell you, this story right here is about a copper who decides that she can't make enough money being a copper, and so she goes into PORN. She goes into PORN. And she loses her job. She loses her job as a copper because she did PORN, right? The news does a story on her, and remember, she's got an OnlyFans account. So what does she do? She does an interview. Only in America, baby. You can't make this stuff up. She gets caught doing PORN, gets fired, and then jumps on the media to promote her OnlyFans.
Now with an exclusive one-on-one interview with a former Arapahoe County Sheriff deputy who just resigned.
The department began investigating her after her second job, starring in porn, was made public. Brian, there are a lot of questions here. Let's start with, why did she even enter the world of adult entertainment?
She said that her family suffered a series of really devastating financial events in her life. And one of them was that her home was
listen, I have never heard okay, so I've already seen this, and I puked a couple times, wiped my face up, watched it again, puked again. The state-run media, the way that they give this ex-cop a pass for doing PORN, let me tell you something. If you do PORN, okay, you've made a decision. You've made a decision that you can't undo. And it's not like you're not a human anymore, but you made a decision that's going to take you outside of the mainstream of society, where people, if you go hang out with them and you find out that Bruce is really a porn star. My buddy Bruce is a porn star. Makes you distance yourself a little bit from people who do porn. A little bit, right? Doesn't it? Does it make you distance yourself from people who do PORN? Yes, it does. But now watch this powder puff give a pass because it's a cop doing porn. Oh shoot, I said the word. I hope YouTube doesn't punish me. Daddy YouTube, don't punish me.
devastating financial entertainment. She said that her family suffered a series of really devastating financial events in her life.
Bruce.
And one of them was that her home was being foreclosed on. She needed thousands of dollars fast. So she turned to the adult entertainment industry.
My name is Shannon Laughlin. I was a deputy with
She's a busty lady.
Arapahoe County for 21 years.
But that career came to an end.
She's not 2 years and then she did PORN. She's young and hot. She's 44.
And this week, as her secret emerged, The 44-year-old Laughlin ran her department's driving academy. But even with a steady paycheck, she ran into financial ruin, and this wife and mother felt she had no place to turn. You were kind of a deputy by day and starring in porn at night, essentially.
Ultimately, yeah, it could be construed as that. It could be considered a double life.
She entered the world of online porn just a couple of months ago, shooting scenes for various sites under an assumed name.
She's got a tattoo of a woman's face on her back, looking over her shoulder. If anybody's ever seen her in a bikini or in a one piece, it's pretty easy to identify that tattoo. It's got a rose in the hair of a skeleton.
These are about the only pictures of her online work we can show.
I took a look.
It was quick cash and enough to catch up on her mortgage.
Do you see how he throws that in there?
We can show. It was quick cash and enough to catch up on her mortgage.
Hey, she got herself out of debt, everybody. This is what they're pitching to their audience there.
And hold off the bill collectors.
I was desperate. I was drowning.
So everybody can relate to that. Look at what the state-run media is doing, is normalizing your addiction to PORN. I think everybody here has seen those videos. We all have seen them. You don't want that to rot your brain. It will rot your brain. If you do too much of that, it'll rot your brain. Is it a guilty little pleasure of most Americans? It is. So, but the normalization of those, it's kind of funny, right? Because put a 1 in the chat if you've seen a video. Obviously, there was something like that ran through my channel. I didn't see it. I only got up. I've seen some stuff online. And then the people who do PORN, the mattress actresses, mattress actors, then we really condemn them. We really condemn them, don't we? It's a weird double standard, isn't it? Because you may be one of those people who watches and consumes this stuff, but you condemn those people. But I still don't know how much I love the state-run media pitching this to girls as though, hey, she was out of money and she needed to pay her mortgage and the bill collectors were coming. That's what I'm talking about. I think that kind of narration done by CBS, State-Run Media Foundation, I think that is the problem. Listen carefully how they justify that if you're a young woman and you're behind on your bills and the bill collectors are coming, it's okay for you to turn to PORN. And that's what the state-run media is doing in this piece. And then she chimes in and backs them up.
She entered the world of online porn just a couple of months ago, shooting scenes for various sites under an assumed name. These are about the only pictures of her online work we can show. It was quick cash and enough to catch up on her mortgage and hold off the bill collectors.
I was desperate. I was drowning. I found a very legal, lucrative means for providing that support from my family that I needed at that time.
I needed to go shoot PORN to provide for my family. Okay.
Save my home for them and feed my family.
Guys, are you guys seeing the normalization of this here? That if, especially, this chick is 44, and in my opinion, not my taste, not my style, I guess you would say. She's 44 and she made, what they say, that she had a $500,000 deficit? That's what she said, right? They had a $500,000 hole. Gap. They had a $500,000 situation. Essentially, there was a $500,000 hole that got her out of this situation. Jiminy crickets, there's really no way to put this together in a fair way, because this is the normalization of PORN to pay your bills.
Collectors.
I was desperate. I was drowning. I found a very legal, lucrative means for providing that support for my family that I needed at that time to save my home for them and feed my family.
Her family home was ruined by a storm last year.
Well, no. Okay, so hold on a minute. I'm so sorry. Your family home was ruined when you did PORN. That's when your family home was ruined. When you started shooting PORN, that's when your family's home got ruined. Your kid's life wasn't ruined before you shot PORN and went on the news in your community and announced that that's what you do. Now you ruined your kid's life too. Because your kid will always get the screenshot sent to them of their mom riding cowboy. That's what you did, honey. I needed to fix my home. You destroyed your home. You ruined your home. You shit on your own home. You shit on your own kid. You shit on your own husband. You shit on your parents. Listen, I worked as a dancer. I worked as a dancer for years and years. You still don't shoot PORN. There's a big difference. There's a huge difference. It's like
year, she says. Nearly $500,000 in damage.
So she made $500,000?
That insurance would not cover. With an adjustable rate mortgage, she's
with an adjustable rate mortgage.
Says her payments had tripled.
Is this not an advertisement for her OnlyFans?
And she was facing the same financial challenges as millions of Americans.
So she did porn and you can too.
Higher costs for everyday needs, increasing property taxes, and rising insurance premiums.
But in recent weeks,
she had rising insurance premiums. Brother, she had rising other things that she filmed.
Someone tipped off the sheriff's office to what Laughlin was doing. An internal affairs investigation was started. She was suspended. But in the early stages of the investigation this week, she resigned.
She says she knew she broke department rules by not asking permission to work a second job.
A second job? She broke department rules by not asking to work a second job.
She knew she broke department rules by not asking permission to work a second job.
Imagine the process, okay? Let's say, for example, I had a boss. I don't have a boss. You're my boss. Say I had a boss that was like in the militaristic structure of policing, and I have to go in and I have to tell them that I got a second job. And they say, oh, you're taking a second job, Chili. Here, just fill this form out right here. And then you know how cops are. They sit down as they give you the form to fill out for your second job. And he goes, so where are you working when you're not here? Oh, you know, I'm working in film and production. Is that right? That's right. And what exactly do you do in film production? Oh, you know, I'm one of the stars of the show. Yeah. Okay. So what exactly do you do as the star of the show and the production? I could tell you, but it's classified. You know what I mean? Well, you need to write it on your report, what you're doing as your second job. I said, well, listen, you know, I don't really want it to get out, but just between me and you, I'm shooting a little PORN. And the supervisor looks at him and he goes, how big is that thing? Oh my God. Right? Sorry. I ruined it.
The mainstream and adult industry is not something that the sheriff's office would approve of, and I understand that. I knew for a fact what it was about, and I'm not going to waste the resources of the sheriff's office to do an investigation for something that, yes, I participated in that, and yes, I did that.
Laughlin has reached the end of the road with the sheriff's office and is considering next steps. She's not sure if...
I mean, Jiminy Crickets, she's in great shape for being 44 years old. I'll give her that. She's working hard to keep her fitness. But just so you know, just to do the market research for this video before I showed this, I had to delve a little bit deeper. I had to go a little deeper in my research, and I found the answer that you don't need to find. Just so you know, you don't need to find the answer. You won't like the answer that you find if you decide to research further. $500,000 hole? You sure about that? You sure about that? I didn't think so.
If she'll continue with adult films.
Why did you decide you wanted to talk to me today about this?
I'm here to simply put the reasons out there on why I made the choices that I made and took the actions that I did. And just trying to do what I can to make sure my family is taken care of.
Laughlin also served on Colorado's Peace Officers Standards and Training Board, but she resigned from that position in the last few weeks. The Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office said they could not respond to questions due to that internal investigation, privacy, and due process issues. Michael and Karen, Laughlin told me that she loved her job as a deputy with the Sheriff's Department. She loved training officers in how to stay safe while they were behind the wheel. And she said with all this, she didn't want notoriety or fame. She said
she's doing spots on the news. I mean, what kind of apology for doing PORN is this?
Job as a deputy with the Sheriff's Department. She loved training officers in how to stay safe while they were behind the wheel. And she said with all this, she didn't want notoriety or fame.
She just wanted the money, Lebowski.
She said she was just trying to keep her family afloat.
Oh, man, there it is. So if you're a young woman, you can do it too. What a crock of shit.
Murray County Corrections officer behind bars in Franklin, accused of opening fire with an AR-15 at multiple people in downtown historic Franklin.
Sunday morning around 5 a.m., a pickup truck pulls into this antique shop parking lot. A man exits, and he's holding what appears to be a long gun. What happens next is not on video, but according to the police affidavit, a man now identified as Christopher Chun pulls his truck into the parking lot here on South Margin Street. According to the arrest affidavit, the 20-year-old approaches another vehicle carrying a rifle. That weapon has been described as an AR-style weapon. According to the court documents, the former Murray County Corrections officer of 10 months finds his ex-girlfriend inside of a truck with her new boyfriend. According to the arrest paperwork, that's when Christopher Chun shoots through the driver's side glass into the vehicle. Thankfully, nobody's hit. Witnesses tell police there were at least 4 more shots into the truck. According to the affidavit, the new boyfriend will get away. The ex-girlfriend will tell police Christopher Chun pushes her up against the wall, placing the barrel of his rifle against her throat.
So this means, though, that the new boyfriend gets away. You guys heard that, right? So then you have this $1 million question of how did he get away? They don't really say. He shot the driver's side 2 or 3 times, I think they said. How does he get away? And if it was you and your new girlfriend, her psycho ex shows up and he's got guns and he's shooting, what would you do? It's a fair question because you're facing it. You are facing it.
The new boyfriend will get away. The ex-girlfriend will tell police Christopher Chun pushes her up against the wall, placing the barrel of his rifle against her throat. Chun then allegedly headbutts his ex-girlfriend, according to the paperwork.
He really loved her, though, you know what I'm saying? You only love someone if you headbutt them. You know that.
Chun then allegedly headbutts his ex-girlfriend.
I love you. Douche.
According to the paperwork. By this time, another man in the group arrives. He's carrying a semi-automatic pistol.
So another dude shows up, then you got to imagine that he, birds of a feather flock together. We can maybe imagine that this is another correction officer.
According to witnesses, that man will confront Chun behind the building. There's video of this incident taken by one of the witnesses. It reportedly shows the man with the pistol shouting repeatedly to Chun to drop his rifle. And when he does not, the man with the pistol opens fire at Chun, who reportedly returns fire. Again, neither man is hit.
Which is terrifying because bullets go somewhere.
In this video, you can see police officers quickly arriving on scene and begin looking for clues in the dark.
What's up with the golden ring here that they have on the screen? You see this ring? It's like some sort of like, it's a strange circle.
By dawn's light, you can see the crime scene with 12 placards, each marking a shell casing. There's also broken glass and oil from where Chun tells police that he fired into the new boyfriend's truck to keep it from driving anywhere.
He kidnapped him then.
And according to one of the witnesses, around the time of the shootout, Christopher Chun was holding his 1.5-year-old daughter in his arms. Now,
what? I'm so sorry. During the time of the shootout, the whole time he had a 1.5-year-old baby?
Christopher Chun was holding his 1.5-year-old daughter in his arms. Now, he's currently in jail. He's charged with 3 counts of attempted homicide, 1 count of aggravated domestic assault, and the other man who had the pistol, he's not been charged in this case. Let's send it back to you, Mark.
Unbelievable.
I think aggravated domestic assault has to do with the charge for the child, probably a felony.
Well, Andy, thank you. And Franklin Police Chief Deb Faulkner putting out this statement to News 2, which reads in part, officers located and detained 8 individuals who were at that location.
Let's take a moment to make a mockery of what it is to have women police. It's just such a silly thing. She looks like a lizard person. Her eyes are, she looks like a lizard. She looks like she morphs into a lizard. You know, I mean, someone loves her, but she looks like an evil demon to me. I'm sorry. I hate to say it. Hate to be so judgmental.
Now, no one was injured. It was determined this was domestic related, and the person who shot at a parked vehicle was arrested and charged. Now, there was no further threat to the public, and the only suspect was immediately arrested and charged.
He looks like a really good guy, though. I mean, there was one part of this that caught my attention.
A former Murray County Corrections officer.
The ex-girlfriend will tell police inside of a truck with her new boyfriend. According to the arrest paperwork, that's when Christopher Chun shoots through the driver's side glass into the vehicle.
Great graphics on this. Good job. Good job, news reporting agency. I think when he shoots through the glass and then he shoots the truck so he can't drive away, I think the boyfriend runs on foot, which, just so you know, was the smartest thing he could have done. He should have ran, and if you don't have a firearm and someone's got a gun and you don't, if you want to die, you can try to fight a guy who's got a gun. But unless you can really, really catch that guy off guard when he's not looking. Brent, just first time I've seen you. What is going on, Brent? Chevy, what is going on? Chili, YouTube has you at the top of their shit list. Oh, yeah, I know that, Chevy. We know that. We're fighting back. Man, the editor's working hard. We're working hard. Everybody's working hard. It's just like, you know what I mean? Chili stretching. It's the 4:15 stretch. Everybody, it's the 4:15 stretch. Everybody stretch out right where you are, just real quick. Just take a second. Stretch out your arms. Stretch out your legs. Everybody just stretch out. Just stretch out real quick. Do it together. Do it together. Okay. Thanks, Adam. I agree. Nice stretch. Ooh, you feel that? I feel good. Wearing my We Don't Stop hoodie. What is going on? Rocking. Having a good day. Chevy, what's up, Playboy? Plead the fifth. Okay, Ruben said, stop blocking Ruben Mora. Yeah, you guys listen, don't block people. Okay, moderators, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. We have been through wars together to the moderators. We have, right? They're like massive troll attack, 50 people. Just don't block or time anybody out unless they're a real mother. You know what I'm saying? Just don't. Just don't. Just, bring it to my attention. Put it in the comment section. Chili, this guy's being such a douche, and I will straight block their ass, I'll block them forever if they're a dickhead troll, but otherwise, don't block Ruben. April, what is going on, Forrest? What is going on? Life under the microscope. What is going on? We're living in Cop City here.
The now former Woodstock police officer surprised.
Wait till you guys get this one. Wait. I watched this. I think this presentation is a minute and a half. I watched the first minute of this, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing." Love you too, Ruben. Good to see you, man. Some people talk shit. Like yesterday, Jeff Millman said he was talking shit. Jeff Millman's a huge supporter, and he got timed out. And he sent me an email saying he was mad he got timed out. So like, just take it easy. Some people get drunk when they're here and they start to say stupid shit. I mean, when people are being a fucking dick to me, say I'm short or just make up one of the millions of lies. I'm short. That is true. But the other stuff that people have said and they start saying shit like that, then it's a troll piece of shit and let's bag his ass. But if it's just someone saying stupid shit, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I love you guys though. Thanks for your support.
Development. The now former Woodstock police officer indicted for the involuntary manslaughter of an unarmed man pled guilty tonight. But it's a negotiated plea, so it could change.
We were told that this
We're
trial
changing it for us. I've been asking the mods to back off a little bit, let people talk some shit here and there. I know you're a supporter, man.
would begin next week, but then I got a tip this morning that that former officer would enter a guilty plea here inside of Cobb County Superior Court. Now, as you said, this is a negotiated plea, so that means the judge can rule on a sentence and the defense can decide whether to accept that sentence or go to trial. A grand jury indicted Grant Shaw on an involuntary manslaughter charge for the shooting death of Emmanuel Millard. Shaw is accused of shooting Millard following a police pursuit from Woodstock into Cobb County back in October 2023. Now, we told you about a previous incident where Shaw was seen on police body cam holding a couple at gunpoint following an attempted traffic stop. The couple told me they were rushing their sick pet to an animal hospital at the time. They also said they warned the Woodstock police chief about Shaw and said they feared he would kill somebody one day. Now, next, I'm going to head back inside the courtroom. I'm told that the judge is now deliberating on that potential sentence. Anything that we learn, we, of course, will share it with you during this work.
I mean, you know, I got to be honest, and let me just...
Sentence, anything that we learn...
Kind of off topic here, though, but when I see somebody... When I see somebody who's dressed like this and they got torture cuffs on, you know, this guy's obviously a piece of shitpig. That's what this guy right here is, right? He is. And when I see someone though in that jumpsuit right there, I automatically just think to myself, oh man, oh man, it's such a horrible, horrible thing to go through, to be treated that way. It's so terrible.
We'll share it with you during this broadcast. All right, now we are live here in Cobb County tonight. Audrey Washington, Channel 2 Action News. Superior Court. Now, as you said, this is a negotiated plea, so that means the county.
But it's a negotiated plea, so it could change.
We were told that this trial would begin next week, but then
cops get, how many pleas do you guys get negotiated?
I got a tip this morning that that former officer would enter a guilty plea here inside of Cobb County Superior Court. Now, as you said, this is a negotiated plea, so that means the judge can rule on a sentence and the defense can decide whether to accept that sentence or go to trial. A grand jury indicted Grant Shaw on an involuntary manslaughter charge for the shooting death of Emmanuel Millard on an involuntary sentence.
So that's his name, Emmanuel Millard. Emmanuel Millard is dead. He's no longer here. And that guy killed him. That cop killed him. He murdered him.
Or go to trial. A grand jury indicted Grant Shaw on an involuntary manslaughter charge for the shooting death of Emmanuel Millard. Shaw is accused of shooting Millard following a police pursuit from Woodstock into Cobb County back in October 2023. Now, we told you about a previous incident where Shaw was seen on police body cam holding a couple at gunpoint following an attempted traffic stop. The couple told me they were rushing their sick pet to an animal hospital at the time. They also said they warned the Woodstock police chief about Shaw and said They feared he would kill somebody one day.
Oh, you're kidding me. So the people that he stopped from getting help for their pet, they warned the chief of police that he would kill someone. That was a couple of years ago.
Now, next, I'm going to head back inside the courtroom. I'm told that the judge is now deliberating on that potential sentence. Anything that we learn, we, of course, will share it with you during this broadcast. Right now, we are live here in Cobb County tonight. Audrey Washington, Channel 2 Action News.
So I'm just curious here. Well, where is it, though?
So a grand jury has indicted a Woodstock police officer accused of killing a 20-year-old man during a chase. Now we're hearing from that man's parents. Channel 2's Audrey Washington, live now in Marietta with what's in that indictment. Audrey?
Right, the indictment came down late Thursday afternoon. That police officer is now charged with involuntary manslaughter. As for the parents of that 20-year-old man who was killed, I spoke with them here inside their attorney's office. They told me, though they are still heartbroken, they are relieved that that officer was finally charged.
I see him, I hear his voice. It has been tremendously hard.
The parents of Emmanuel Millard say they finally got the news they've been hoping for. The Woodstock police officer who shot their son just indicted by a Cobb County grand
But he got a negotiated sentence.
jury.
I just want him to get the full extended punishment.
No, but that's not what happened at all. This is an older video. This is a video predating it. I was trying to see if I could find the body cam of the shooting so we could see if it was in any way, shape, or form justified. If he's in a yellow jumpsuit and in torture cuffs going in front of a judge who loves him and a prosecutor who loves him, then it was not a justified shooting or even close to it. So we'll keep going on this.
No, he's guilty. According to the indictment, Woodstock police officer Grant Matthew Shaw is now charged with involuntary manslaughter after Shaw shot Millard following a police pursuit. It happened in October. Police say Millard took off after Woodstock police tried to arrest him during a traffic stop. Officers say Millard then led them on a chase into Cobb County. Police performed a pit maneuver and blocked Millard in with their cruisers. Attorney Andrew Lampros viewed the police body cam video.
He showed him his hands. He was fully complying. Told him to get out of the car, and as he went to get out of the car, he shot and killed him.
Shortly after the shooting, a Woodstock police
Well, where is that video, though?
department spokesperson wrote in part, quote, "The Woodstock Police Department understands the value of every human life and will work to maintain transparency throughout this."
Parent. To walk around with that hurt that you done took a life.
You destroyed a family. You took a life that was supposed to live for years.
Now, the Cobb County District Attorney's Office did not go into further details about the case, but I'm told that this trial is expected to begin in the coming weeks. And we are live here tonight in Cobb County. Audrey Washington, Channel 2 Action News.
But I want to see. Sorry about that. I clicked on the. So where is the shooting? I'm trying to find the actual shooting. Grant Shaw, cop. I'm giving it. Man found dead in Cobb County. That's not it. Let's take off Cobb County. Can you guys hear me okay? Give me a 5x5 if you can hear me okay. Can everybody hear me all right? Let me know. What is going on? What is going on? Wrench to whack you! Alan Hubbs, what is going on? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see everybody. I'm just trying to find out exactly. I want to see the actual. Let me try Emmanuel Miller shooting. Let me try it that way. No, Emmanuel Miller shot by police. Let's try it like that. Let me see if that works. On Emmanuel amid police. Driver tackling man. I can't find it. I can't find it. I'll need your help. If anybody can find the full video of that, I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button if you would, pretty please. I hope I didn't disconnect Facebook and Twitter. Are you guys still here? Is anybody still here from Twitter? I'll see if Facebook is still running. I don't know if I can disconnect like that and if it stays attached on Facebook and Twitter. I'm not really sure if it does or not. I didn't mean to. I screwed it up. So sorry. I did not mean to do that. I'm checking Facebook now. We're still running on Facebook. So what is going on with the Playboy? What is going on with a bunch of people just took off? I lost it. I lost people. Sorry about that, guys. I did not mean to do that. Anywho, regardless, we don't stop. Sorry about that. Oh, that was the guy I covered yesterday. I'm going to do a full story on Tyree Davis, the guy who got shot in the stomach by the cops. Like, I'm going to do a full story on him. That's what I'm going to do. Because I am so mad about that Tyree Davis case out of Wisconsin. It has made me so mad. It just pisses me off beyond the pale. Tyree Davis was simply standing in his doorway at his own house, and that cop, Nicholas Zenz, shot him. And he pretty much has gotten away with shooting him and got a job back. I've called East Lake Police Department in Ohio every single day. I guess it's only been 2 days. 2 days in a row I've called them. I've recorded the voicemail of me calling them because we got to get justice for Tyree Davis because it is such a travesty.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us here on KView Plus for special coverage of the conviction and sentence of Austin police officer Christopher Taylor.
Gloria.
The Travis County judge sentenced him to 2 years in state prison for deadly conduct in connection to the 2019 on-duty shooting death of Morris Da Silva. We wanted to take some time to talk more about this high-profile case and understand not only what has happened, but the implications going forward. And Sam, I'll start with you. I mean, the first time believed
it's decided they want a complicated decision, and you have to look at the judge and the judge's history. You have to do a little bit of guessing into the future as to how the judge or a jury might respond. Obviously, juries are much more unpredictable than judges for the most part, especially on sentencing issues. So oftentimes when we try cases, we say, are we picking a punishment jury? Or are we picking a guilt-innocence jury? And sometimes we're doing both. But in this case, the defense made a decision after all.
Yeah, I don't want to listen to these lamos sit around and talk about a case, blah, blah, blah.
Well, a Richmond police officer's name is now on a list of no officers really want to be on. It's called the Brady List. An officer can wind up on it if a prosecutor says they lied to the public, this time about a brutal murder. Fox 59's Eric Graves covered this story when it first happened, and he was in Richmond today trying to talk with police about what exactly took place.
The Wayne County prosecutor says the assistant chief here at the Richmond Police Department lied to the public when he said 2 murder victims were not Richmond confidential informants. The Richmond Police Department, though, says they fundamentally disagree with that decision. Richmond Assistant Police Chief and Public Information Officer Adam Blanton is now on the Brady List. Indiana.
Don't you love it? If you ever want to call someone a lying PIG, you're looking at a lying PIG right there.
University law professor Jody Madeira says it's not something officers want to be on.
And the officers on the list are individuals whose credibility has been called into question in some manner.
It all started when Matthew Johnson and Christine Dixon were murdered and found in a Fort Wayne river in September. This man, Dominique Washington, was arrested for the killings. Court docs filed by the Fort Wayne Police Department backing up Washington's arrest said Johnson and Dixon were confidential informants for Richmond police. But Assistant Chief Blanton and the Richmond Police denied that on social media and through an email sent to Fox 59 and CBS 4 News. However, a letter sent from Wayne County Prosecutor Mike Shipman to Blanton and the Richmond Police Chief in October says Dixon and Matthew were in fact informants on the case. Shipman reveals he also authorized Dixon.
Did he say Shipman?
To purchase drugs as a confidential informant. The letter informed Blanton he was now on the county's Brady List.
Look at that. that PIG got his comeuppance right there by being put on the Brady list because he's a lying pig right there.
Once you're on it, you are pretty much stuck on it unless you can disprove the allegations that have resulted in you being on that list.
We went to the Richmond Police Department Thursday morning. Inside, the chief told me he had no further comment past this statement, in part saying they fundamentally disagree with the prosecutor and his erroneous characterization of the events regarding this decision.
Erroneous events. Edie Raines is here, everybody. If you guys don't know who Edie Raines is, you guys can Google her and look her up and see what she has been through. If you want to truly understand distrust by the police on a very individual, personal level, look up Edie Raines' story online. You can just put her name in Google and find it. And she knows pain and loss from the police being dishonest scumbags more than any of us may ever know. Edie, good to see you. Love you. Thank you for coming by. April Raines gifted out 5 memberships. Thank you, April. I appreciate it. We got our crowd back. Everybody came back. Yay, we're back again.
Adding the department is reviewing their options to remedy the matter. Madeira says this is typical for officers put on the list, saying there's some controversy around it.
National police professional organizations have said this is not fair. We don't get due process before we are named to the list.
The Brady List letter included a second instance where the prosecutor says the assistant chief lied to the public about the prosecutor's office failing to file charges against a YouTube prankster who duct taped himself to a telephone pole. We reached out to Prosecutor Shipman for an interview, but
hold on a second. Hold on a minute. Did a YouTuber get this guy put on the Brady List?
The Brady List letter included a second instance where the prosecutor says the assistant chief lied to the public.
The assistant chief lied
about the prosecutor's office failing to file charges against a YouTube prank.
He lied to the public about...
Assistant chief lied to the public about the prosecutor's office failing to file charges against a YouTube prankster who duct taped himself to a telephone pole.
So lied about failing to file charges?
We reached out to Prosecutor Shipman for an interview.
Prosecutor Shipman.
But he did not get back to us by
He was busy being a shipman.
Our deadline. As for Dominique Washington,
look at those ridiculous little just get some real earbuds, bro. You get some real muffins. Those aren't help. I mean,
he's due for a jury trial in
I'm Mr. Critical today, aren't I?
March for the murders of Christine Dixon and Matthew Johnson.
I mean, he does have a beautiful full head of hair. So, you know what I mean?
Reporting in Richmond, Eric Graves, Fox 59 News.
We're going to stay out.
Good job, Eric Graves. Good job, buddy. Good job, man. You pulled it through, Eric. They may not say a lot of good things about you, but I will, Eric Graves. And those earmuffs are absolutely darling. Anyway. April Raines giving out 5 memberships. What's up, Playboy? What's going on, Playboy? Yeah, I can hear how critical I'm being today. I'm being a little bit of a dick, I guess. We all have a little bit of a dick in us. Really weird words are being said today. Really, really weird words. You know what I'm saying? It's been like a play on words all day today, hasn't it? It's been a very strange day with the play on words. Anyway, all right, I'll get back to the videos. Get back to the videos!
Well, this month marks 3 years since a police officer pulled the trigger of his taser and his gun at the same time. A Titusville man running from police was killed when the chief said Josh Payne made that fatal mistake. Since then, the family of James Lowry has worked to make sure Payne will never be a police officer again. News 6's James Sparvero was there for the manslaughter case, finally coming to a resolution today at a plea hearing.
I was standing in the back of a courtroom in April when Josh Payne last faced a judge. The agreements, though, of his plea hearing on that day were not reached in court. So here we are all these months later, and now Judge Kurt Jacobus is about to read what the state and defense have agreed to. Let's hear what it means for the former officer's future.
The court will sentence on this case 5 years in probation. Mr. Payne shall not possess, own, or use a firearm during the term of this probation.
How do you feel about the sentencing, Josh? So no time behind bars, no adjudication of guilt, and no comment to me as Payne left court. There's just one thing I've really wanted to ask you over the last 3 years. How did you make such a mistake? Is there anything you'd like to say about that? Payne did offer an apology to the Lowry family.
It's affected me, and I'm deeply apologetic. Sorry that this happened this way.
Hey, he's running, he's running! The judge blamed killing James Lowry on Payne's training.
Shot fired!
Oh, no, they just need more training. That's all they need. Oh, shoot, this is a reaction video. I did not react yet. They just need more training. That's all it is, folks. The problem here is that there's not enough training. If there was more training, then he would have killed him much better than he killed him. There was not enough training to kill him the way we like to kill him. You know what I'm saying? So that's
shot fired.
Lowry's sister, Jahari Brown, made a statement too.
To be here, hearing that we're just going to have probation and maybe not an adjudication of guilt, it doesn't really sit right with myself or my family.
Of course not, because he murdered your family member.
James Garland Lowry was the following: a brother, a son, a father, an uncle, a cousin, a nephew, a friend, and so much more.
After losing his badge, Payne also turned over his law enforcement certificate, which means he can never be an officer again.
Well, never. Whoa, don't never say never. Never say never. Never say that they could never be a cop again. Can always be a cop again. They need cops everywhere. You can go to any city in America right now and they need cops. And they're willing to fudge over a lot of stuff. If you go through the ritual hazing bullshit, go to their stupid training where they teach you how to hurt, kill people, and then take orders and then say things like, oh, they're not supposed to be comfortable. That's why they're torture cuffs, things like that. Then you can get in. You can be a cop or two. That's the reason why. They can't get anybody to be a cop, so they'll take anybody. So they gave up his peace officer standard and training certificate. That doesn't mean he can't be a cop in California, in Texas, in Ohio.
In Brevard County, I'm James Sparvero, getting results, News 6.
Another FBI.
Developing tonight, an FBI agent will not be allowed to bond his way out of jail. He's behind bars.
We're not going to cover that, though. So this is a year ago. Petition filed 1 year ago in Ohio. Petition to end qualified immunity in Ohio. Check this out.
After issue one's failure last week in the August special election, a group is now trying to end qualified immunity in the state.
But they have to get enough support from voters to make that happen. 10 TV's Richard Solomon is live tonight to explain how it will all work. Richard?
Well, there's still a bunch of hurdles this amendment has to get through before it can be voted on for next year's election. Supporters of this say, hey, this will help hold officials accountable. But those who are against this say otherwise and tell me there could be more harmful repercussions on this in the long run. While many
are they having a black eye pitch a state-run media operative, pitch a state-run media propaganda that abolishing qualified immunity will cause problems for people?
Accountable. But those who are against this say otherwise and tell me there could be more harmful repercussions on this in the long run.
So that's the perspective that you take? You take the establishment's perspective? I revoke your black card, bro. You're not black no more.
While many Ohioans are focused on this November's election, Kyle Pierce is laser focused on next year's.
If we don't turn that protest into policy, nothing's going to happen.
Pierce is the executive director for the Ohio Coalition to End Qualified Immunity. And the policy he's talking about lies within the name.
Well, having a government accountable to the people is a very basic, fundamental American ideal.
Because his organization is working to get an amendment on the 2024 ballot that would end immunity for government employees like prosecutors and police. This immunity offers protection from lawsuits. But Brian Still, the executive vice president with the Fraternal Order of Police, says ending qualified immunity would have major ramifications.
It will be virtually impossible to do this job.
if you strip that legal protection.
Steele says qualified immunity protects officers from harassment.
I'm so sorry. Let's listen to this again real quick.
It will be virtually impossible to do this job if you strip that legal protection.
Steele says qualified.
If you take away qualified immunity, we will no longer be able to beat, rape, kill, torture people with impunity, okay? If you take that away from us, you are going to ruin policing. We're not going to be able to hurt people and just know that we're never going to be held liable for it ever, 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 no matter what. And remember, he's the president of the Fraternal Order of Police, so that's who you're talking here.
Qualified immunity protects officers from harassment.
There is this perceived notion that officers act with impunity and have no legal ramifications. As long as
No, if you can prove they violated your rights and they knew they were violating your rights, that's how you go around qualified immunity.
the officer acts within the Fourth Amendment and does not violate someone's civil rights, they have this qualified immunity.
And Pierce says they're not anti-police at all. And he says all gears are now.
So there's a very important part that you're missing here. And the reason why he said the Fourth Amendment is very specific. I'm going to explain it. I'm going to explain it. It's right here. Listen carefully.
And have no legal ramifications. As long as the officer acts within the Fourth Amendment and does not violate someone's civil rights.
Okay, so the reason why he said that is because the Fourth Amendment hinges on the term reasonableness. That's what the Fourth Amendment is all about. And what the Supreme Court has done since its inception with the 1789 Judiciary Act, it has done everything it can to stretch what would be considered reasonableness. DUI checkpoints, for example, we call them Nazi checkpoints on this channel. So what happens when you go through a DUI Nazi checkpoint? Your freedom, your liberty is being restrained. You're being arrested as you're being stopped and then have to face a government agent to prove your sobriety when you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. That's reasonable, according to the unelected Supreme Court. And if you guys are not members of teamdlz.com, I got a new video up. It should be up right now. Thanks, Joseph Barbini, for the membership. Thanks to Nell Brown. Teamdlz.com, you guys will get to see the syllabus and what I'm going to start to teach here very soon. It's just taking a long time to get the graphic done, but it is happening. Members of teamdlz.com know that. But this is the whole point. The cops know the verbiage, especially cops who are the president of the Fraternal Order of Police, like Mr. Steele. As long as the cops work within the Fourth Amendment, within the reasonableness standard, which can be whatever the court decides is reasonable.
As long as the officer acts within the Fourth Amendment and does not violate someone's civil rights, they have this qualified immunity.
And Pierce says they're not anti-police at all. And he says all gears are now shifted to next year.
With the defeat of issue 1, we're very confident that we'll get this on the ballot.
And this is still a lengthy process. Pierce says they submitted the 1,000 signatures to the Attorney General's office last week. But remember, Dave Yost's office has already rejected this twice in the past. So
it's almost like, and I don't have the power to strip his black card, but I would like to, because he didn't push back against the network when they said, go talk to a Fraternal Order of Police guy about abolishing qualified immunity. Anyway, so this is a year old. And so now we see that they got a black guy to be a state-run media operative to go against abolishing qualified immunity. You're seeing it right here. But now fast forward, this video is from 4 days ago.
At 5:30, a move to get rid of the legal shield covering police officers in Ohio, now one step closer to becoming law. Supporters now will start collecting signatures to put the issue on the ballot for next year. If
Joseph Barbini!
If it passes, Ohio would be the first state in the nation to end what's known as qualified immunity by the vote of the people. WCPO.
It's funny because the state-run media operative was wrong.
And what's known as qualified immunity by the vote of the people. WCPO issue on the ballot for next year. If it passes, Ohio would be the first state in the nation to end.
No, Colorado, New Mexico, Connecticut.
And what's known as qualified
Minnesota.
Immunity by the vote of the people. WCPO 9 News reporter Jay Shakur examines what's at stake.
Ending the special protection government workers have at the people's expense.
It's almost impossible to sue your governments when they violate your constitutional rights.
That's why Kyle Pierce believes government employees in Ohio shouldn't have a legal shield that protects them from lawsuits. Pierce, executive director of the Ohio Coalition to End Qualified Immunity, is pushing for a state law that gets rid of that.
Don't you think that ought to be changed here in Ohio? And a lot of people kind of do fall into the same mindset because it's a very American ideal. It's not left, it's not right.
Qualified immunity protects certain government officials like teachers and police officers if they're accused of violating a person's civil rights while working in their official capacity. But why is it on the books, and what could happen if this law is removed? Fraternal Order of Police President Ken Colbert says
they go right back to the Fraternal Order of Police. If you guys couldn't see that there is a state-run media, you have now learned it here, today, and now. You just saw me run a clip from a year ago where there was a petition to abolish qualified immunity. Now the petition went through, it got referendum, it's on the ballot. And now 4 days ago, a different news organization that is not CBS, the organization we ran a moment ago, now they're interviewing someone from the Fraternal Order of Police. And what do you think this guy's going to say? What do you think he's going to say? What is this Fraternal Order of Cop going to say about abolishing qualified immunity? It is just such crap. This is such a scam dog shit. If you didn't know that there was state-run media, you learned it here and now today. State-run media. Why are they going to the Fraternal Order of Police, not the current police? Fraternal Order of Police, cops who are dyed-in-the-wool, thin blue line, and most of them are pigs. A good percentage of them are pigs. So
the amendment could damage law enforcement. Why is it on the books, and what could happen if this law is removed? Fraternal Order of Police President Ken Colbert says the amendment could damage law enforcement.
Qualified immunity exists for a reason. It exists for the balance between accountability for public servants as well as to protect them from frivolous lawsuits.
Colbert cites policies already on the books to discipline officers, but the amendment would allow the government agency, not the government employee, to be sued for financial damages. Part of the proposed amendment reads, any individual who is an officer, agent, employee, or servant of the state or a political subdivision. Some are saying that's too broad. What's your response to that?
If the government isn't violating our rights, then there should be no issue here.
You violate somebody's constitutional rights, or you violate a law in such a way that a reasonable person in that field would know that it's wrong, you already don't get qualified immunity. So these things are already in place. To just blanketly get rid of qualified immunity is going to damage public servants. People are going to leave.
In Cincinnati, Jay Shakur, WCPO 9 News.
Well, now check this out.
Well, if a police officer uses excessive force, should you be able to sue them? As it stands, if an officer in Ohio acts under the scope of their authority, then the officer is not held personally liable to pay damages for any use of force. But one Ohio lawmaker wants to change this. However, the Ohio Fraternal Order of Police says it's not that simple and could have dangerous consequences. Canton House Rep. Thomas West pushing for a bill that would allow for police to be sued over some uses of force. That could include up to 5% coming directly out of the officer's pocket. West believes this will ensure more accountability.
What this legislation does is it holds officers liable without any blanket protection.
This is from 3 years ago. It didn't pass 3 years ago.
Of qualified immunity.
Qualified immunity is what protects an officer if they are acting under the scope of their authority. It does not protect officers from being criminally charged or disciplined.
If an officer is being reasonable in his actions and following his training.
Ohio Fraternal Order of Police. This is 3 years ago.
And the guidance and the law, then they can't be held personally, civilly liable for being wrong.
But West feels victims should be able to seek justice by filing a lawsuit.
Youngstown, where they killed James Sheets.
Lets officers know that, they can think twice about, their actions when they are at a scene.
The Fraternal Order of Police says thinking twice is not how officers are trained and could.
They're not trained to think twice. They're trained to shoot first to save their own life.
Cause new problems.
It will cause officers to slow down. It'll cause them not to react.
Yes, slow down and don't react. Protect yourself, protect victims, and back away.
And quite frankly, the cost of law enforcement would go up significantly.
Both do agree de-escalation training and more funding is substantial in the fight towards police reform.
Officers don't get paid enough.
Let's see. There's that one. There's that one. Is this the same one we just watched?
New at 11 after it.
If we don't turn that protest into policy, nothing's going to happen.
We saw that one already.
A group hoping to end qualified immunity for state workers resubmitted paperwork this week, trying to put a constitutional amendment on the ballot. The Ohio Coalition to End Qualified Immunity submitted a petition to the Attorney General's office for a third time this year. The two previous petitions were rejected. Attorney General Dave Yost's office will determine whether the petition is a fair and truthful representation of the proposal. Yost's office has said the prior petitions did not meet that requirement.
No.
Qualified immunity protects state employees, including police officers, from civil lawsuits.
What would be your response if someone asked you why you hate cops? What would be your response if someone asked you why you hated cops? Can you guys write in the comment section for me? I'm just, let me make one for my editors as well. What would be your reaction if someone asked you why you hate cops, or why you distrust cops, or why you strongly dislike cops, or why you see police as the enemy, or why you see cops as adversarial, or why you see cops as hostile? Why do you feel the way you feel about police? So let's take a look at some of these comments. Let's see what they say here. Let's see what they say. And then Team DLZ will read some of yours. Cops break their oath to the rights of the people on a regular basis. They value their oath to enforce bad, unethical, unjust, and illegitimate laws over the oaths to the people. They take money like unscrupulous mercenaries to enforce said unjust, unethical, illegitimate laws. Because of how the system is set up, this profession almost exclusively draws to it people with fragile egos, massive insecurities, unjustified arrogance, and narcissistic personality disorder. And if anyone comes anywhere near inflaming any of these flaws that they have in such abundance, then heaven help them. Any group of people that, as a matter of course and routine, cover each other's asses when they break the law, even though their job dictates that they do otherwise, any group of people with a culture that automatically holds the group of people in charge of keeping them in check, internal affairs, in contempt, can't be good. Cheers, I edited it for errors. Let's see. I like to, when I go to Reddit, I like to scroll down a little bit like this. So now here's a new one. Everybody else just commented on that one. I have needed the cops 3 times in my life where I called them and they didn't show up, yet these experiences are also true. 1, I have been stopped in my own farm with a broom in my hand and interrogated by a passing cop. I've seen 8 cops in riot gear and 2 SWAT cars be sent out to an unarmed runaway teenager. I have had my business robbed 6 times, none of which the cops even wanted to try to investigate. I've seen cops break more laws than anyone else. I almost drove off the road when a hidden road officer tested his camera on my car at 2 a.m., blinding me. Was under the speed limit, so no ticket, but the flashes meant to light up the whole car and driver, so I couldn't see SHIT. So, and let me read some of your answers now from Team DLZ. This one says, In every time in my life I've had to call the police, they were no help. Made things worse, and there were too many real criminals that get away with literally murder, but they're more worried about petty crap. Anybody else got anything in here? I've had 3 vehicles stolen from them because of their policy. They stole your cars. Because of the tyrannical behavior played out daily on every media channel and social media outlet, not to mention they are now militarized and promote fear and take freedoms. They're narcissistic sociopaths. One time I actually called the cops for my wife, One time I actually called cops for my wife throwing me through a wall, and I was the one who caught the charge, even though she even told the cops I never touched her. The bigger the government is, the more laws it has, the more corrupt it is. Yeah. I'm reading any more comments you guys got. Anybody else got another comment in here? Tag lights as an excuse to steal money from those who don't have it. So true. Gloria, my ex was a pig. I hate bad cops, and that's just part of it. Interesting. Interesting. Good stuff in here. It's easier to explain why cops are shit than to come up anything good that they do. Super interesting. A lot of people can't stand these dirty pigs. And I think it's funny that 3 different broadcasts in Ohio, 3 different news networks altogether, and all 3 of them interviewed the Fraternal Order of Police. I find that absolutely disgusting. And then Ruben just said something on here. Let me see what you got on here. Chili, I hate the cops because just the other day I was doing rideshare and the cop came beside me and embarrassed me saying, I can't pick people up on the sidewalk. Freedom Incorporated said, because government agencies policing societies is unconstitutional and a blatant violation of our rights. Also, for the same reason I hate all cops are evil. Cops have the very same mental makeup as RAPIST. Yeah, there's a lot of people. I mean, there's a lot of people in here who just hate the cops beyond belief. I mean, I've been the leader of a new kind of movement where we hate the cops and we want to change it. You know, so they have only ever hurt and stolen from me and the ones I love and murdered us. It says Clown Patrol, which is 100% so true. So true. And then there's more. Oh my God. This person with autism, look at this. This person with autism put all the links as to why everybody's trying to blame us. Oh, that's right. Okay. Okay. You guys want to have some fun? I'll have some fun with you guys. He shot that guy in the back of the head. That was so sad. Let me see if I can copy this and paste this. Let me see if it worked. It does work. So let me go like this then. Oh, this is probably one of my favorite, absolute favorite cop rants of all time. Can we do an interview of Kinetic? I've got to talk to a few people in here. Derek hates pigs. Derek hates pigs. Jeff hates pigs. Where is Jeff hates pigs? I saw Chevy. Cope dog, you dog. I know you're out there, Cope. Love you, brother. But I want to show you guys something. This rant right here, this one right here by this cop, he completely, I hate the cops and the courts are just as crooked. I have a short on my channel showing you that I can't straighten my right arm anymore. Okay, I'll check it out.
Trying to shame us. Everybody's trying to shame us. The legislators. The press. Oh my God. Everybody's trying to shame us. Into being embarrassed. Oh my fucking God. Well, you know what? This isn't stained.
Oh no, your badge is stained, pig.
It's still got a shine on it.
No, it doesn't, brother.
Stop treating us like animals and thugs.
We'll stop acting like animals and thugs.
Start treating us with some respect.
Look at his mannerisms. Look at his mannerisms when he says it.
Thugs. Start treating us with some respect.
Yeah, to the 300 people here watching, you will respect me. Do you hear me? You will respect me. You will. It's a great way to earn respect. That's exactly how you earn respect, by just demanding of people that you will. How about giving us a little respect for beating, raping, killing, imprisoning you? How about that? Why don't you respect us? We only beat, rape, and kill you. You're lucky. You're lucky you still get to breathe our air.
Start treating us with some respect.
Oh.
It's disgusting.
It is.
Trying to make us embarrassed of our profession. Don't resist. Don't resist. Don't resist. Don't resist, bro. I'm not. And that's all I have to say.
Yeah. Respect us. Respect us. Yes. 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 Hold on a minute. Let me get my brown shirt on. It's just so unbelievable to see this kind of shit. Let's see what else is in the bag. Let's see. Look at them all sucking each other off.
The police.
Oh, this guy put a bunch of links in here. Let me see.
That's what y'all get. That's what y'all. Ooh, don't get that. Don't hit him with that fucking stick, yo. Oh my goodness.
He put his hand on the stick.
Get your fucking. Oh my god. Get your.
Oh shoot. Sorry about that. It was just. I'll play it again. I'm sorry. It's only 30 seconds.
The police. That's what y'all get. That's what y'all. Ooh, don't get that. Don't hit him with that fucking stick, yo.
He drops the stick right there in front of him. Then he put his hand. He physically. The cop. Watch his white arm right here. He will take his arm and put the black guy's hand on the stick.
Don't hit him with that fucking stick, yo.
Did you see that?
Oh my goodness! Get your fucking! Oh my god! Get your! No! Please stop! What the? Back up! No! I can't breathe! Can't breathe!
Wow. Earning the hate. Talk about earning the hate. Did you see? I mean, sometimes do you want to like wipe it out of your eyes and be like, what am I looking at here? Like, what am I really looking at? It's so unbelievable, the things that these cops are do to us. It is so unbelievable. There's so much bad that these cops do to us. There's this guy who put this comment in here under why he hates cops. There's like 400 links. I mean, not quite that many. There's about 30 or 40. It's like cop assaults elderly man with bone cancer. We just saw that one. Pastor arrested for watering lawn. You guys remember that one? Where he literally arrested the guy for watering his neighbor's lawn. So many. And so just so you know, When I was going to go live today, because I've been working on Constitutional Law Scholar all day today, you guys, if you're on teamdlz.com, it's kind of like become like, here's where I'm going to download what I'm doing every day constantly. So, but you guys can check that out. There's so many reasons why people hate the police. I wish there was more reasons why we could love and respect them. But there's not.
Phone down.
That's road rage.
No, I was talking because you're on your phone and I needed you to get off so that we could travel smoothly.
Okay, so sometimes I'm required to be on my phone.
All I can see is this.
911 call. That's none of your business.
All I see is a driver impeding traffic.
Beeping the horn in a vehicle is called road rage.
I wasn't angry at all. I wasn't even angry for just letting you know that you're impeding traffic. I wasn't angry.
Traffic. I'm stopped at an intersection.
There was no traffic moving, and all I could see was a person on there.
How about you pull over your bike and we'll write a ticket?
Well, I'm not trying to argue. I'm just telling you what I saw.
Tell the judge, I was on that phone because I was making a police-related phone call.
It's not my goal to argue with you. Fine. I'll cede to your power. I apologize.
I don't need you to do that. I need you
Oh, no, you do need him to do it. You're completely lost, bro.
to understand that what you're doing is wrong. I don't need you to concede to my power.
Oh, what he's doing is wrong? For honking at you, he's wrong?
I don't have power. I'm doing my job.
Oh, no, dude. No, you're a douchebag.
Okay,
I have a citizen
I apologize.
with me right now because you're in a hurry.
I'm not in a hurry.
You're hot dogging it down Canine, standing up and riding your bike.
Yeah, but I wasn't.
Something way bigger.
I wasn't hot dogging.
You know what? I'm sorry, I was wrong.
It wasn't.
You're trying to do your job.
See, it wasn't my goal at any point to argue with you.
Okay, so you know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna write you a ticket for what I observed on Zuni, and we're gonna subpoena your camera into court.
Got it.
And we can go in front of a judge.
This is a retaliation. I understand that.
What?
Put the fucking phone down.
So he's mad that the cop is sitting there, so he honks the horn.
Road rage.
No, I was talking because you're on your phone and I needed you to get off so that we could travel smoothly.
Okay, so sometimes I'm required to be on my phone.
All I can see is this.
911 call. That's none of your business.
All I see is a driver impeding traffic.
Beeping the horn in a vehicle is called road rage.
I wasn't angry at all. I wasn't even angry for just letting you know that you're impeding traffic. I wasn't angry.
Traffic. I'm stopped at an intersection.
There was no traffic moving, and all I could see was a person on there.
How about you pull over your bike and we'll write a ticket?
Well, I'm not trying to argue. I'm just telling you what I saw.
Tell the judge, I was on that phone because I was making a police-related phone call.
It's not my goal to argue with you.
Anybody else?
Fine. I'll cede to your power. I apologize.
Wow.
I need you to do that. I need you to understand that what you're doing is wrong.
Oh, my God. They wonder why they're hated. Delete laws. Did you know feds are in town investigating the rehabs and the owners? Oh my God. Is that, oh my God. So if you guys don't know me, it's nice to meet you. My name is Shirley DeCastro. This is Delete Laws. I started this channel a little over about 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago. Wow. So if you haven't seen my backup channel called Project Constitution, I was just reading Project Constitution in there. My backup channel is called American Patriot Forever. You've got to see my backup channel called American Patriot Forever, where, one second, I will put it right here. I'm going to put it here, American Patriot Forever. I went to Ironton, Ohio, and I exposed Ironton, Ohio, the police, five cops and now 6 cops with goo having a stroke are now gone. And they're gone because I went there. That's why they're gone. So this is the video. This is the channel I have. I'm live streaming on this channel right now. At the same time, I'm live streaming here. But check this. If you want to know why, part of the reason why I'm known at all is because of all the videos on that channel called American Patriot Forever. So yeah, there it is right there. Yep. Yeah. I can't believe that, Butch the Original. So what I exposed specifically in Ironton, we haven't gotten to it yet on American Patriot Forever. I just stuck the link in the comment section. What I exposed there is that the judges and the county commissioners and the prosecutors were all involved in a rehab for cash scam, where they got the grant writer there to write grants to get money for rehabs the money was to pay for the patients of the rehabs. Then the police would arrest people for the most petty of a chemical infraction, take them in front of Judge Waldo right there, and then Waldo would put them in a rehab, not his rehab. I think he's involved in a rehab, allegedly he is, but he would sentence them to other people's rehab. And then there was another judge there. What's the other judge's name there? Butch in Ironton. Then he would put his patients in Waldo's rehab, or in, what's her name? The county commissioner, Susan, what's that county commissioner's name? She bought a rehab when I was in town. It was in the paper that she bought a rehabilitation clinic, and now it's finally being exposed. I absolutely love seeing it. Love it. Absolutely love it. It's just top rock. Yeah, you guys, if you're not subscribed to this, if you haven't, listen, I paid an editor for 30 weeks to sit and just cut Ironton stuff. Every video here is a condensed, televised, television type of presentation. If you have not seen American Patriot Forever, you are really, it's the best work I've done on the road. So you guys should definitely see it. It's here, subscribe here. I'm not sure what you're talking about right there. Go over here to this one right here. Oh yeah. Freedom Incorporated. Yeah. So Freedom Incorporated said, "What the fuck is statist cube? United States government YouTube, are they blocking live comments now?" Yes. They not only block your comments, I can't put certain things in the comments. The censorship is unbelievable. And then Ruben here said American Patriot is a must watch. You absolutely have to watch. Absolutely have to watch American Patriot Forever. It is, start at episode 1 and watch every one of them. It is a really well-produced series. The editor did a hell of a good job. Jilly, if you have not seen all those episodes, good to see you, Jilly. First time I'm seeing your name today. Gloria put the first one there, American Patriot Forever. Death Angel, Jess Vacone, Ruben, Grateful Dabs. Oh, man. Damn, it just hit that time. Damn it. I wanted to get the sun setting much earlier in Los Angeles now. What a frustration. What time is the sunset in Los Angeles? 4:43 p.m. Damn, that sucks. I wanted to get out with my dog before it got too late. I want you guys to get out too. Have a good night tonight. I'm going to get the flock out of here. Ruben, good to see you. Freedom Inc. Yeah, moderators, thank you guys so much. We're going to try to relax on timing people out and blocking them. Let people joke and get drunk on Saturday night and have fun, you know. I'm going to get the flock out of here. I love you guys. Chevy, plead the fifth. Gloria, April, Jessica Kerstad, I miss you. Where are you? Danelle Brown, love you. Lou, thanks for coming. Dan Hanlon, Brandon, Clown Patrol, Butch the Original. I mean, I could sit here and read like 500 names. There's so many. Alan Hubbs, for example. Alan Hubbs, we're about to cover Alan Hubbs. He's about to make a major move. Alan Hubbs is right there. He doesn't have a public channel. He doesn't want one. But Alan's making big moves. I know about them. Seldwin was here. What's going on, Brandon? Brent, that's what I read earlier. Projection Road Rage. Man, I hope they are in town busting it up. I really do. Kinetic Customs and Racing, Ruben Mora. Gloria, nice to see you. Okay, listen, I got to get the flock out of here. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later, Gators. Oh, Team DLZ. TeamDLZ.com. There's a new video up. Go check out the new video. I feel so much better now that I made that video for TeamDLZ.com, and I just start kind of riffing off of my own brain. I feel so much better. I was really nervous and insecure that this content material wouldn't be welcomed or people wouldn't like it. Boy, there's so much to learn about the Supreme Court justices. You have no idea. I got to get the flock out of here. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later, Gators.